Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says the controversial decision by government to carry out a domestic debt exchange has proven to be useful in spite of the concerns raised by some investors and bondholders. The decision to give a haircut to payment of interest on coupons triggered a series of protests, especially by pensioners who say all of their life savings have been locked up owing to the restructured payment scheme announced by government. However, speaking exclusively to Joy News' Foreign Affairs correspondent Blessed Suga on the sidelines of the American Independence Day celebration here in Accra, Ken Ofori-Atta says the earlier round of debt restructuring yielded significant results, adding that more sacrifices will be required for the days ahead.
It's been quite a dramatic change in where we are. And inflation has tapered down from 54 to where we are. I think the currency is a little bit more stable. Treasury bill rates have moved from 35 to maybe 20-something%. The domestic debt exchange program was very difficult for us as a country, but I think the need to do it is being proven. So you can see some stability, and we are grateful for that. There's a lot of work ahead, and really we need to remain faithful as Ghanaians to push ahead. There's going to be some sacrifices, but I think it's the direction to go.
You heard Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Meanwhile, the leadership of the coalition of individual bondholders groups is set to meet the police later today to discuss modalities for picketing at the Finance Ministry to demand outstanding principles and other demands contained in an MOU with government. Convener of the Individual Bondholders Association of Ghana, Senyo Hosi, says they will not back down until their needs are met.
I think the government must rethink its posture and attitude to individual bondholders. It is not right, it is not fair, it is actually not reasonable. They can't pay their fees. People are struggling with their health, not of just themselves, their parents and their grannies. You know, it's very, very painful that people keep sitting there with so much confusion, uncertainty. How are we proceeding? We are picketing, and this picketing is serious picketing. We have too many people. We are going to be engaging the police tomorrow to work out the modalities. We have a meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow with the commander of the region to resolve the modalities.
You heard convener of the Individual Bondholders Association, Senyo Hosi. Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, says government owes the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (SNIT) more than $2.6 billion. The answer was in response to a question filed by Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu. Despite this debt, the minister explained that a substantial amount has also been paid to SNIT in 2022.
Government's total indebtedness to pension schemes as at end May 2023 is 2,631,855,254 cedis, 0.06 pesos, comprising the following: Tier 1, Controller and Accountant General Department Mechanized Payroll, 1,628,859,472 Ghana cedis, 0.37 pesos. Tier 1 subvented institutions, 188,597,229 Ghana cedis, 0.4 pesos.
Listeners may recall government engaged an international agency, McKinsey, in 2018 to help it shore up tax revenue. Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam says $12.2 million has been paid to the agency between 2018 and 2022.
Revenue mobilization remains a challenge for us as a country. Our tax to GDP ratio averages 13%, which is lower than the average 18% for the sub-region. Therefore, unlocking the full potential of our domestic revenue mobilization is one that is at the core of the President's vision of a Ghana beyond aid. McKinsey was engaged to support our efforts to increase tax revenue over the baseline of 17% year-on-year growth, as indicated in the question, and other interventions to increase efficiency and effective work culture. Mr. Speaker, the overarching target of 17% year-on-year growth was exceeded. Total revenue growth recorded was 28% year-on-year. Mr. Speaker, GRA's total payment to McKinsey over the contract periods of 2018 to 2022 was $12.2 million US.
Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. Now, the controversial LGBTQ bill may have been hit again by another legal challenge, with the latest asking the Supreme Court to injunct Parliament from considering the bill until the matters before the courts are dealt with. But the chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee is hopeful nothing will change. There are currently 3 separate suits before Ghana's courts against the bill, including the absence of a financial impact analysis as well as concerns about cost on the Consolidated Fund. But Mr. Nyemedu Entry remains hopeful about further progress.
I have not cited any of the writs. I am in Parliament, and the race would happen in the court.
Okay, but should we be worried that it would affect it in any way?
If Parliament has been served, or if there's an injunction, or if there's we will only seek the directive of the Speaker, who himself is also a senior lawyer, and we'll find out from him what the directive is. The committee, we've completed our work. We laid a report some months ago, and we are ready to take the second reading, and then we'll do the consideration, and then the hula balloons will be over.
More Burkinabés are trooping into Ghana to seek refuge following attacks on their communities by armed insurgent groups. So far, the Ghana Refugee Board has recorded 3,200 Burkinabés in Posiga in the Upper East region. Now, towns close to the border are serving as host communities. However, the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Refugee Board, Tete Paddy, explains that the presence of these refugees close to the border poses a security threat, as it may attract jihadists into these communities.
We have registered about 3,200. When they arrived, most of them were in the host community. In fact, all of them were received by the host community, the host communities along the border. We have set up a transit center, a reception center. The security advises that their presence in the communities close to the border is a security threat.
Meanwhile, a lecturer in conflict, peace and security at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Victor Doke, warns of humanitarian crisis if government fails to identify asylum seekers. Now, the Executive Director of Women Advocacy NGO, Song Taba, is urging traditional leaders to do more to protect women and vulnerable groups in their communities. Her comments come on the back of a 12-year jail term handed to women who beat an old woman, Ekwia Dente, to death on suspicion of being a witch. Lamnatu Adam believes although this will not completely eliminate the practice, it will help reduce it.
Community leadership need to take the protection of these groups as a priority, especially our traditional authorities. And for me, I think that is quite a worrying trend, especially if you look at the recent killing of 2 at Zakpalsi, where the woman was lynched at the forefront of the palace. Traditional authority, and for that matter, our chiefs, need to take the protection of women, children, and other vulnerable groups as a key priority in their jurisdiction.
And that's it for the bulletin. In our top story, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta sticks his neck out for the government's controversial decision to carry out a domestic debt exchange, arguing that the policy has proven to be useful. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Business is next on the Super Morning Show.
See that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there's a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Okay. If I leave work now, I can beat traffic, get takeaways for dinner with the girls, and be on time to pick up Sam and his mom from the hospital. Proud to belong to ABSA.
We know that life is go, 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 and that it's hard to make time for the things that really count. That's why with ABSA's digital channels, you can bank when, where, and how you want, so you can focus on what or who is important to you. Get things done simply with our digital channels. That's Africanacity, that's ABSA.
Life's battle during retirement are not won by the strongest. Sooner or later, those who win are those who prepare for it. Ensuring your future is your responsibility to your family and loved ones. Progress Trustees, a company that guarantees a cheerful life of retirement for both formal and informal sector workers. The Progress Occupational Pension Scheme, the Progress Provident Fund Scheme, and the Progress Personal Pension Scheme helps you achieve peace of mind during retirement. We also provide administration services for employer-sponsored schemes, including staff welfare schemes seeking to outsource their day-to-day administration of their second-tier occupational pension and third-tier provident fund scheme. Start your journey to envisage quality life during retirement by contacting us on 0504-368-048 on our website www.progresstrusteesgh.com. Progress Trustees, a joyous retirement begins here.
I sat up as the pleasant aroma wafted through the cracks in the door and into my living space. Whatever it was, smelled heavenly. I felt my palates open up to receive this very welcome guest. I mean, I had to taste. And as I rolled it around in my mouth, I realized I just loved the texture. And just like that, it was down my throat and giving my body life. I wanted more. Lele Rice does that to me every single time. Thanks, baby, for cooking today.
You're welcome. And as we continue to enjoy our favorite rice, Lele reminds us to observe all COVID-19 safety protocols because COVID-19 is still around. Lele, tasty food, happy family.
This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, that be the sound you hear when things make hot. I'm sure this is not battery, just cash flow. Laja no day. It is safe to say we are all facing challenging times. We are all wondering how we are going to lighten our financial burdens. Nowhere cool. But don't worry, with a little help from your trusted bank, Societe Generale Ghana, be biara may fine. Societe Generale Ghana is making all its customers happy with the Yatiso Loans promo. In fact, SG Ghana customers and even non-customers who are on the controller and accountant general payroll can enjoy access to our amazing discounted loans. Don't waste time. Get your loan today. Step into a branch or call 0302-214-314 to get the ball rolling. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, promotion ends on 7th August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
Don't you worry. Just be happy. Don't you worry.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. The 6 a.m. news brought to us by Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Coming up is the Joy Business Report brought to us by Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushioned you for life. Akpafu.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well. You?
God is taking care of his children. As you can see, I'm very strong
I
this morning.
I can see pa.
I'm very strong this morning. And ready to serve.
Great.
Look, we have a very important conversation coming up this morning. I'm sure you've heard about this, Darrell. Let me just remind you briefly.
As the AU champion for African financial institutions and leader of a country which recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history. Difficulties which were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of capital markets and turning a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis.
So we're told of how the rating agencies were reckless and turning Ghana from a liquidity crisis to a solvency crisis.
Is that what we usually term crime foul?
Well, you could be right. So this morning we ask a few questions. Are the rating agencies biased against Africa? Do these rating agencies apply a different methodology for Africa relative to the rest of the world? How much of the current debt-induced macroeconomic crisis is as a result of the perceived bias of the rating agencies? And can, finally, Africa push for its rating agencies, and how seriously will the foreign investors take them?
Okay, so let's tackle the last one first.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, how seriously would we be taken if we had an African rating agency? I don't know. You ask about a methodology. I don't think it would be difficult to determine if there's a different methodology for assessing African countries. I believe the metrics are still the same everywhere. And so, and again, I'm yet to hear from any economist who sort of agrees with the president. Maybe I missed some of them, but every analyst I've heard disagrees with that assertion that there's bias from the international rating agencies. So,
well, it's your ability to pay. And your ability to pay is based on your books. If your books are looking good, nobody would downgrade you, would they? Well, I don't know.
And our books, are they looking good?
There seem to be, I mean, there are some people who may agree that there could be some level of bias. But that is not our situation as a country. You get my point?
Yeah.
So while they agree there could be some level of bias, they disagree that our current situation is based on the bias from the rating agencies.
Because we all experience it. We all see what is happening. I mean, you don't need an international credit rating agency to
right
tell
on
you
that. So this morning, that's a conversation we're having here on the Super Morning Show. I mean, we want to find out, and most importantly, whether Africa can have its own rating agencies. So you're looking at, the top three, S&P, you're looking at Moody's, you're looking at Fitch. Now, they account for 95% of the world's ratings. There are some others. I'll share them with you later on the show. But the question is, those three, how do people rate them? And if we want to go that way, how would the global markets rate us? That's a conversation we must have. Okay, because look, the big three credit rating agencies, Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch, control around 95% of credit ratings in the financial markets. Others such as Dun and Bradstreet, DBRS, and Bureau van Dijk, they're also there, but these are, less known rating agencies.
Probably never heard of.
Well, I got to hear of them during my research. So it was the research for the program that actually got me to hear of these ones. But for that, I wouldn't have heard of them. So that's a conversation we're having this morning here on the Super Morning Show. And as always, we'll do this with you. We'll be joined by persons who understand this market, who understand these issues, and have been researching into these issues, and will be sharing their thoughts with us right here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Time now for the Joy Business Report with Darryl Kwao and the team.
Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, government aired to update the public on its efforts in cutting expenditure in the mid-year budget review. We'll hear from Director of ISE, Professor Peter Quartey, who believes the move will help build confidence in the economy. Also coming up, Ghana Stock Exchange indicates it is working hard to reduce concentration risk on the market, a move that will reduce any losses as a result of an economic shock. Plus, automotive industry players call for robust infrastructure to help achieve the national electric vehicle policy by 2030. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwao. First up, the Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Quartey, has advised government to update the public on its efforts in cutting down expenditure in its mid-year budget review. According to him, this move will build investor confidence and attract more foreign direct investments into the economy. He explained that the creation of an enabling environment for the private sector would trigger more growth.
Then on the expenditure side, you've seen a lot of talks about proposals about cutting down spending. The numbers should show. We want to see how much we have done, how well we have done in terms of cutting down the expenditure. So we ensure fiscal consolidation. Having said all of that, what are the other things that we are doing to stimulate growth within the economy? What other new things are we going to do to support the private sector, make sure they create the enabling environment to absorb the needed jobs?
Meanwhile, Professor Quartey is pushing for more market interventions by the Bank of Ghana to sustain the city's recent good run. The city is said to have appreciated by more than 1% against the dollar since June last month, based on data from some commercial banks. Professor Quartey urges the Bank of Ghana to do more to ensure the city's outlook remains favorable.
Central Bank will continue to implement the exchange regulations so that we don't allow the black market to determine the pace. The Central Bank should also continue to intervene like it's been doing in the exchange market, streamline the operations of the forex market and intervene as and when the need arises, particularly targeting some anchor or specific areas like OMCs and many other critical areas. And there are some imports that are not relevant. I mean, so like it did the previous time, if realize we are spending our hard-earned forex in areas that are not really relevant, they are just outcompeting local industries and depleting our forex, there should be some intervention one way or the other. So yes, regulation is key, and also price stability. Once inflation is under control, it certainly has a knock-on effect on the exchange rate and vice versa.
That was economist Professor Peter Quartey. While we are at it, let me just update you on the currency market this morning. The dollar going for 11 cedis 70 pesos on the forex or retail market. The pound going for 14 cedis 90 pesos, and the euro trading at 12 cedis 58 pesos. Now, the Ghana Stock Exchange says it is working hard to reduce concentration risk on the capital market, a move that will reduce any losses as a result of an economic shock. According to its managing director, Abnamwa, this is being done with the introduction of additional products on the market, such as a commercial paper market, which is awaiting approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Addressing participants at the GSC's Facts Behind the Figures program, Ms. Amwa said her outfit is committed to growing a sustainable capital market.
The other product I want to talk about as we work around diversification is a market we've been working with a whole bunch of stakeholders to implement in Ghana, and that is our commercial paper market with a very wide stakeholder group, from fund managers to our central bank to issuers to the brokerage community to the Bankers Association. We have studied a few models around the world, and we have developed a framework and rules for a commercial paper market, a formal commercial paper market. We have submitted this to the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we are waiting for the approval, and we will launch this product this year.
You had MD of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Abnamwa, while the Managing Director of Societe Generale PLC, Hakeem Wuzani, has indicated that the bank is in good standing and would be able to withstand the impact of a second domestic debt exchange program. The bank recorded a marginal growth despite the impact of the program on the banking sector. According to him, the bank will put in place certain measures to ensure its continuous growth.
For the first DDP, we had an exposure of 133 million Ghana cedis, and we have done the necessary in terms of determining the fair value and the provisioning for that. We don't have at this stage any further exposure linked to the second DDP initiative, so we don't expect any further impact on our activity for this year.
You had Managing Director of Societe Generale PLC, Wuzani Hakeem. Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is calling on government to urgently work with the central bank to find innovative ways of addressing the high inflation in the economy. This, it believes, will help businesses secure funds for expansion and recovery from the impact of COVID-19. The continuous increases in the policy rate and, in effect, lending rate, the Chamber said, is adversely affecting key productive sectors. The Chamber also warns the impasse between government and the independent power producers, with its associated intermittent threat of power cuts, which sends unfavorable signals for the domestic businesses to be resolved. It wants the government to find a lasting solution to this, as any power cut will severely affect businesses. Turning to other news, automotive giant Rana Motors says it will soon flood the Ghanaian market with more electric vehicles as part of efforts to avert the dumping of fossil fuel vehicles into the country by 2030. The government, under the Paris Climate Accord, drafted a national electric vehicle policy to solicit stakeholder inputs to switch from the use of fossil fuel vehicles to electric vehicles. This is expected to curb greenhouse gas emissions and global warming. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Operating Officer of Kia, Kasem Odemat, called for a robust infrastructure to help achieve the electric vehicle target.
I believe at the moment the EVs are going to be more of a taste choice, or maybe of people who would like to, have an electric vehicle. In my opinion, it is definitely coming. We are definitely going to bring EV vehicles, electric vehicles, in the near future. But at the same time, I believe in terms of the infrastructure, I believe in terms of the whole network, the whole concept of having electric vehicles, I think it will be taking a bit of time to have it realized on the ground, because the whole concept of having EVs is to have having more and more carbon neutrality in the future. But also EVs have to be charged. So also we need to think about the infrastructure of the electricity.
Chief Operating Officer of Kia, Kasem Odemat there. Some Ghanaian small and medium enterprises are trading under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement and making a passionate appeal to government to extend some financial support to expand the operations. This is to allow more Ghanaian businesses export to more African markets under the trade deal. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive of Ebi Foods, one of Ghanaian SMEs trading under AFTA, Agnes Mausin Kanza applauded the agreement but called for more support for local businesses.
We are really trading under AFTA to other African markets.
How has it been? How has it been for you? Trading under AFTA?
It's been good. It's been good. In fact, AFTA has come to really push the Ghanaian producers. Without AFTA, I don't think on our own, on daily basis, we can be able to do what they have done for us. AFTA is really good, and we pray that it will come to stay. In fact, for us to get there, we need, SMEs suffer financial, so we need money. If the government can, collaboration with AFTA, support us financially, I think that Ghana will be on the map. Yeah, because we need to expand, we need machines to work with, and it is money. It is money. So if they really want AFTA to say and help this country, I think they have to come out with programs that will help us financially.
Agnes Mausin Kansa is Chief Executive of Ebi Foods. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic and an economic crisis, the last 3 years have been very tough for the travel market. Several collapsed and others are yet to fully recover. Today on the Joy Business Van, we hear how the travel business, Adansi Travels, founded by businessman Gideon Asari, navigated what was the toughest period for the industry in recent times.
In March 2020, we were affected by the COVID. As a travel company, we even shut down our office before there was a national shutdown. So we had to stay home 7 solid months without anything, because the airports were closed, everything was closed. And at the time we had 19 staff, and it was not easy because that was like a period that we were growing so fast, because in 2019 we did so many amazing things, and we had planned what we call Agenda 2020 tours in the beginning of the year with so much anticipation, and then the COVID came. We survived. Since I'm here talking, it means we survived. And I think that we were one of the few companies that give a lot back during the COVID.
What did Gideon and his team do? Join us at 1 p.m. right after the Joy Business Report, 5 p.m. on Business Live on the Joy News channel for today's episode of the Joy Business Van. Let's wrap up with the commodity market. Crude oil open trading at $75 a barrel. Gold is selling at $1,925 an ounce. After going up marginally, cocoa gained $46 to open trading at $3,399 a ton. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for listening, everyone. The Super Morning Show continues. Here's Winston.
All right. Thank you very much, Daryl Sechu, for joining us with the Joy Business Report.
What was Abraham whispering in your ear?
I don't know.
Consultancy?
I don't know. No, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not sure. The consultant has not brought any consultancy this time around. He's not come to say, "Oh, Winston, can you moderate any event?" No. He hasn't said that. I don't know if he has one.
I'm sure he has.
Now
he always
that
has
the budget
something.
Review is close.
Many opportunities to consult.
Well, let's see how it goes. Anyway, thank you very much, Daryl, for joining us. It's time for our inspirational song for today, brought to us by Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC pipes and water tank. Where Duraplast goes, water flows. shortly. Elton Brobe is here with me. Good morning, Elton.
Good morning, Winston.
Hope you're doing very well.
I'm Absolutely fine.
Great. So let's get into our Drive Safe campaign now, brought to us by Joy News and the Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Superior Quality. So avoid all distractions, keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible, drive with your lights on at night, and that's how you drive safe. So get ready for an electrifying adventure with Toyota Ghana. Now, Toyota Ghana is unleashed exhilarating offers for a limited time only. Come and experience very attractive prices for the following lineup of vehicles. That's the Toyota Starlet, RAV4 Adventure, Fortuner Diesel, and Land Cruiser 300 series. Included in these amazing offers, you are assured of a 1-year free service package for any of the listed vehicles you buy. Time is ticking, and the opportunity won't last forever. Visit any of their showrooms in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Tamale, Takwa, or TAC Radio. Call 0302-910-204 for further information. Credit purchase is also available through special arrangement with their finance partners, Toyota Superior Quality. It's now time for Say It Right, brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks, actually. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks. And Societe Generale Bank Ghana, the future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either.
So on today's Say It Right, I heard someone say yesterday that you cut your coat according to your size. Now that's a mistake many of us make, because it makes sense, why not, that you cut your coat according to your size. But the idiom is cut your coat according to your cloth. While you may have a bigger size, but if you don't have the cloth, you cannot cut it to your size. So the right way of saying it is cut your coat according to your cloth and not cut your coat according to your size. So if you want to say it right, is cut your coat according to your cloth. And that's how you say it right. So let me tell you about Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one supplier of quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture at affordable prices. And they've introduced an online store for your shopping convenience. This means you can now shop by simply logging on to kingdomstoreonline.com without physically coming to any of their branches. It's hassle-free, and they will arrange delivery to your home and office within a reasonable time. And they offer free delivery within Accra and Tema and accept payment via Momo across all networks. Terms and conditions, however, apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks. But also, you know that times are hard, and one thing on everyone's mind these days is cash. Sika, koba. So whether it's cash to pay the bills or for your kids' school fees, your home improvement, or your building project, Societe Generale Ghana has got your back. The bank has launched the biggest loans campaign of the year, the Yatiso Loans promo. SG Ghana is offering discounted interest rates on its loans. Both customers and non-customers, including staff on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll, can enjoy access to heavily discounted loan rates. Yes, they say nowhere cool, but SG Ghana is here to lighten your financial burdens. Get a loan now by visiting any of the bank's 42 network outlets or call 0302-214-314 today. As always, terms and conditions apply. Remember, promo ends on the 7th of August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. Let's get into the newspaper review now, brought to us by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different, and Syntex Tank, a year strong, a year tough.
All right, let's start with the Daily Guide, and Nana opens new Kwame Nkrumah Park. That's the front page story. Minority blackmail government. Ameu roots for Alan Kojo John Chematin. Airbus Saga OSP contacts Interpol UK over former President John Mahama. And yesterday we saw pictures from the refurbished Kwame Nkrumah Park. And that's the story on the front page of the Daily Guide, written by my very good friend from Wiamuase in the Ashanti region, Charles Techibuedu.
Okay.
Yes, so President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday commissioned the renovated and modernized Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park a year after he cut sod for the commencement of work on the projects. Now we are told that the construction cost 30 million Ghana cedis, and the expectation is that it will attract visitors. 1 million they are expecting in a year, and that it should be able to pay for itself.
Of course, it should be able to pay for itself. I am happy that we've honored the first president of the land. I mean, he's the African of the millennium.
Right.
Okay. He's the most important African in the last millennium. And so if you are from Ghana, and everywhere, I mean, look, if you're from Ghana and you travel around Africa and you say you're from Ghana, the first name that comes up is Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes.
And so you cannot run away from the fact that Kwame Nkrumah is Ghana and Ghana is Kwame Nkrumah. So I'm happy that President Akufo-Addo has honored Kwame Nkrumah this way. And I'm happy that the government has done that. 1 million visitors, not immediately, but that's something that we can achieve. And, if you go to South Africa, people would take you to the prison where, Mandela, when he was released, had to walk, and come and address people. Where he addressed people, his statue is there. Okay? And many of us would talk about Robben Island, but this last prison is also attractive to tourists. So why don't we do same, for instance? I'm happy that, you have Kwame Nkrumah's vehicle that he used.
Yeah.
You have, his clothes. You have his suitcases. I mean, I was at the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum in 1993 or so. And that was when I learned that Kwame Nkrumah was a co-president in Guinea, because when you go there, you have all these writings.
Right.
I'm happy that we're doing that.
In fact, yesterday I posted it on my timeline on Twitter, and then somebody wanted to know the location of this place, and it was quite interesting. We are here in Accra, and we have all of these sites. It looks like publicity on the things we have in Ghana is on the low.
Yeah.
And I think that if we want to encourage internal tourism, we should begin to promote them. So in case you are thinking of visiting the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, these are some of the things you will find: a presidential library, mini restaurants, a digitized payment and access system. The museum has also been fully refurbished, with the tombstone upgraded and the museum expanded with an audio-visual tunnel. There's also an upgraded VVIP lounge, expanded recreational area, modernized gift shop, and a fountain. So a lot to go out there and see. A lot for us to promote, and a lot for us to attract people to visit.
Exactly. If you go to, Addis Ababa, where their presidential villa is, you'd see the hall that, Emperor Haile Selassie received all the guests.
Right.
They will show you. There's a video of the Queen of Sheba and how she may have met King Solomon and everything. So it's good that we're beginning to appreciate the importance of tourism.
Let me conclude the daily guide, because minority blackmails government. And the story says that members of the NDC side in Parliament have threatened to withdraw from Parliament in order to deny the House quorum to conduct public business if the government does not stop the charges against James Gyakye Quayson, the newly elected member of Parliament for Asim North. Minority leader Dr. Kaysa Latu-Forsen, who served a notice following the swearing in of the Asim North MP, accused government of harassing opposition lawmakers, particularly Mr. Quayson. And the other story is a root for Alan Kojo Chemanten, AGs as Attorney General, bemused prejudicial comments on criminal trial. And then Kafaba, remember that story some years back, the witch killers. Finally, justice met them, and they've been sentenced to 24 years in jail.
I mean, why would you want to kill somebody because you suspect the person is a witch?
Yeah.
Where did we get those ideas from?
It's very, very sad.
Well, I'm happy that finally justice has been served. But the daily graphic for today: Akufo-Addo resurrects Nkrumah. Renovated Memorial Park opens, and so that's the story you've been talking about. 13 regions take drugs against river blindness and elephantiasis. Gyakye Quayson sworn in as member of Parliament.
Yeah.
I'm sure yesterday you saw the minority MPs in white.
Yes.
John Dramani Mahama was there.
I don't know whether it was coincidence, because the speaker was also in white.
This coincidence is something else. I saw Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman also in white there. She went with John Mahama. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come in 2024, and whether she's going to be the running mate of John Mahama. But as it stands now, there's a lot of momentum on the side of the minority. The momentum is such that following the victory in Asin North, a lot of things, they are energized, and today there's a momentum that going into 2024, they can actually replicate same in the 2024 elections. And so you can see John Mahama getting in there, being there at the right places just to show the party that he is providing the leadership that they need. Let's see how it goes. But AG decries public commentary on court cases. So that's a story that you touched on briefly. Let me just get to that particular story that says that Mr. Dami said no one was above the law or immune from prosecution if there was a case against such person. He noted that any assertion that a person should not face the law because of his or her political position would not augur well for the development of the country, and as such, dangerous for democracy. This is a quote attributed to him. The perception that a crime committed by a person of high political standing in society should not be prosecuted, is dangerous for society, and must not be countenanced. The AG statement was in reaction to comments on some criminal cases against some politicians, such as the former CEO of COCOBOD, Dr. Stephen Kwame Nupuni, and the Minority Leader, Dr. Kesey Lato-Forsing, and Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Jachi Quayson. Okay.
So on the front page of the Finder, same story, magnificent Nkrumah Park opens, projected to attract over 1 million tourists each year. We've already touched on the story. The OSP probes into Adubuah Henchas BC 150 other cases. Dame cautions public against prejudicial commentary on criminal trial. 2023 edition of Stenovation competition launched. Of course, MPA shut down 16 illegal Gao filling stations here. You know Gao, right?
Those ones that... that one, if you buy it.
That one is so trouble.
You know, there was a time there was fuel shortage. Mm-hmm. You know, once the period where we had fuel shortage. So I went to buy that one, Elton, from Abattoir to Sakumono. Mm-hmm. The fuel was finished.
But you know, some people have the view that the Gao is more transparent because that one really? The 1 gallon you are buying.
Okay, you can see it.
You can see it. Unlike the ones we have now, you don't see the fuel. You can only read from the indicator screen there. But Gao is quite. But then the MPA in the Upper East region has embarked on an exercise to clamp down on 16 illegal reseller outlets, popularly known as Gao, in the region. A statement from the MPA said the region had observed an alarming proliferation of resellers outlets in areas such as Pulungu. The names are mentioned here. So if you are in the Upper East region, you should be careful where you buy your fuel from, because according to the MPA, some of them are selling adulterated fuel and they are operating illegally. Jachi Quayson files in the lucratory appeal against High Court ruling. Yesterday, the case was called, but for some other reason, it's been postponed. The CPP is back in the news again. They only show up close to elections and then they go to sleep. Now, they have programmed October for their parliamentary primaries and the selection of their presidential candidate for the 2024 election. Sometimes you wonder what they do as political parties. Because some of them, I think they should just shut down the office, rent it out, and make some money, because clearly their contribution to our democracy is zero.
You know, Elton. So in Ghana, we talk about ideology. Sometimes when it suits us as a country. Now, the CPP and the UP at the time were seen as the two main political parties in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Now, in 1996, I'm sure you remember, the Great Alliance. Now, you had the CPP in 1992, elements of the CPP joining Jerry John Rawlins's NDC. And that's how Kamko Aka became vice president.
Yeah.
Then in 1996, during the Great Alliance, PCP at the time, also from the CPP stock, goes to join the very group that they say was against Kwame Nkrumah, the UP tradition, NPP. So you remember the Great Alliance, NPP, PCP, Ishi Rado.
Yeah.
J. Kufuor was a presidential candidate, Koaka was vice presidential candidate. So you ask the point, what is CPP's position today? What do they stand for today? Already, we have come to realize that both the NPP and NDC, when it suits them, they shift positions. One would tell you, I believe, those that are seen to be very liberal sometimes will do things that are social democratic, and those that are believed to be social democratic sometimes also do things that are very liberal. It only tells you one thing: in today's world, what matters is the well-being and welfare of your citizenry. Unfortunately, the CPP, PNC, and all these political parties should find mergers so that we can save the country.
Of course,
you can save the country runoffs.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, we know that one party will win.
The way things are now, it's clearly it's going to be for a long time to come. Battle between the NPP and the NDC. But unless, like we witnessed in Nigeria, in their last election, where the Labour Party out of nothing came up so strong.
But I'm actually told that there is a group that is pushing for a third force. And yes, it's good. I mean, it's good for our democracy because there are people, and I mean, let me revise this point. There are people who today are actually concerned that the only choice they have to make between the NPP and NDC is NDC or MPP.
Right.
And so they would want another option, which would be a third major force. And there's a group that is actually pushing for that third major force. But there's also one thing that must be stated, that in today's country, in today's Ghana, there are those that you call electionpreneurs.
Yeah. We have so many of them.
These are persons who just show up during elections, get people to fund their campaigns, make some money, go to sleep, and come back later. If the EC were to crack the whip and, implement the laws very well, many of these parties would not stand.
Let me conclude on the final cabinet. Japan Boache Jakun Kennedy, Japan vetted. Dr. Koto commit to address a party within the MPP, and finally, Kumasi Asante Korifa Kotoko farm. There is some news. Yes, so there's this news coming from the Manshia Palace. The board and management has been dissolved, and it has emerged that the Otumfo has dissolved the club board following a disappointing season. Sources have told the paper that the dissolution was necessitated following Kotoko failure to win any trophies in the just ended season. The board, led by Dr. Kwame Che, was established in 2020 and appointed Anaya Amponsa as the head of the management team in August of that year. The collaboration between the two entities initially yielded success, with the club securing the Ghana Premier League in their first season. However, it appears disagreements have emerged between the management and the board. Dr. Kwame Che's involvement with his own club, Nations FC, which earned a promotion to the Ghana Premier League last season, has seemingly diverted his attention away from Asante Kotoko. In June, Anaya Amponsa addressed the issue within the club leadership. Said, personally, I don't have any issue with Dr. Kwame Che. As I said, I give him the maximum respect wherever. But clearly, there's been a lot of infighting between the two groups, and that's the reason, according to the paper, the Otumfo has stepped in, and now the board and management has been dissolved.
Oh, Asante Kotoko. You are a Tano Bofaka fan.
Yes, I'm also a Kotoko fan.
Okay, good. Let's get to our online news review now, brought to us by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goil Good Energy. So looking for a bank that understands you and puts your financial needs first? Then look towards Zenith Bank. Whether you're young, old, an entrepreneur, student, salaried worker, corporate entity, an SME, pensioner, parent, child, or Ghanaian resident abroad, or a foreigner resident in Ghana, at Zenith Bank, everyone can bank with us. So what are you waiting for? Join the Zenith Bank family today for an unrivaled banking experience. For enquiries, call us on 0302-680884 or 0307-086370 or 0542-000-111 or send an email to info@zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. So let me ask you a simple question. What do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop up anywhere? Please don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be a part. Goil Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel SP are the best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel, and Goil Diesel SP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. Goil Good Energy, Goil Yeti. MyJournalLine.com this morning. If Ghanaians had listened to me, we wouldn't have gone to the IMF. That is Alan John Kojo Chairman.
And the reference is that if we are taking
the PSI initiatives,
the President's Special Initiatives, but I would have needed the much needed resources to stay, reliant.
Okay. Well, CPP sets October for parliamentary primaries. There's times you have conversations with CPP and they tell you how people are joining the party. But you ask the simple question, of all the delegates that they have, how come they don't see that in general elections? Anyway, let's go for the BBC News now. And it's brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
It's time to go beyond what your traditional financial apps can do. Introducing Cowry, the only digital financial app you will ever need. Experience Cowry, the way to pay. Send. Move your money in quick, easy steps at the best rates on the market. Buy. Top up your airtime and data twice as fast as you normally do. Pay. Step out of the cash queue. Pay for any product or service when you need to. Enjoy it faster. And now, manage. Experience a new way of managing your money. Understand how and when your money moves. You can rely on Cowry every day. Download Cowry from your Google Play Store or App Store. Experience Cowry, the way to pay.
Are you a corporate organization, e-commerce business, individual or student looking for a trusted courier company where you can track your package and receive SMS alerts to keep you posted? At IAS FedEx, we move your documents and parcels with care to the destination of your choice. With offices across the nation, we happily deliver your package to your office or the comfort of your home. With the assurance of safety and affordability giving you peace of mind, IAS FedEx has your package in good hands. Call us on +233 501 605,000 or +233 501 631,000. IAS, licensee of FedEx.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex Tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex Tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Syntex Tank. Syntex Tank, stress-free. Syntex Tank, reliable. Syntex Tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
Millions, but billions of dollars from victims around the world.
The Lazarus Heist. Sunday at 8:30 and 22:30 GMT. Business Daily is in 30 minutes.
We're looking into the growth of foreign investments in Africa's media space. Africa is generating a frenzy of localized content as international streaming platforms and global media organizations battle to gain a foothold in the market. So, what's driving the interest?
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Coming up after the news from the BBC World Service, it's Hard Talk with me, Stephen Sacker. The Western liberal tradition prizes intellectual freedom, tolerance, and the power of reason. There is supposed to be a shared commitment to fact-finding and good faith debate. My guest today, Peter Boghossian, is a philosopher who quit his US university post claiming academia had been corrupted by woke ideology and a grievance culture. He's now a leading figure in an anti-woke movement gaining political traction. But is he stoking a dangerous culture war?
There's a corruption in scholarship in certain fields of literature, and that corruption is not only affecting institutional policy in the United States, but it's getting out into public policies. So we're making public policies around morally fashionable, non-falsifiable conclusions. We're literally orienting the society towards the musings of ideologues.
That's Peter Boghossian on Hard Talk after the news.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. Israel has carried out a series of airstrikes on Gaza after 5 rockets were fired towards southern Israel. The violence in Gaza came as Israeli forces began withdrawing from the West Bank city of Jenin following a 2-day military operation. The United Nations says the fighting caused significant damage to Jenin's water and power networks. Yulan Nell is in Jerusalem.
People started late last night heading back to inspect the damage using the light from their mobile phones because actually power had been cut off to much of the camp. You could see very quickly that roads had been ripped up. There had been cars crushed by the Israeli armoured bulldozers that went in during this military operation, the biggest in the West Bank in years. Many people were complaining that their shops had been set ablaze, all of their stock destroyed, and it's clear that some homes will simply be uninhabitable.
Ukraine has again warned of the threat posed to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant by occupying Russian forces. President Volodymyr Zelensky said he believed Russia was planning dangerous provocations at the plant.
champion for African financial institutions and leader of a country which recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history. Difficulties which were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of capital markets and turning a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis.
Right, so that's the president talking about the rating agencies turning our liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis. He says they were reckless. So this morning we ask a very simple question. Do you think that rating agencies are biased against Africa? Do these rating agencies apply a different methodology for Africa relative to the rest of the world? And how much of the current debt-induced macroeconomic crises is as a result of the perceived bias of these rating agencies? And can Africa push for its own rating agencies? And how seriously would foreign investors take them? That's our conversation here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And as always, we do this with you. Get onto Twitter, use the hashtag JoySMS. Let's get interactive right here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. But you know, a poorly maintained car engine can age faster. That's why we offer specially formulated quartz engine oil with age resistance technology. It's a breakthrough innovation that ensures optimal performance for your engine and improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even under extreme temperatures and pressure. Choosing quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer. Hallelujah. So Absa Bank says that they know that life is go, 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 and that it's hard to make time for the things that really count, so they won't let banking get in your way. That's why with Absa's digital channels, you can bank when, where, and how you want, so you can focus on what or who is important to you. Banking has never been this easy. Transfer funds into your savings account, pay your old school union dues, and your DSTV subscription, and many more with a click on your phone. Get things done simply with Absa's digital channels. That's Africanacity. That's Absa. Terms and conditions apply. Visit absa.com.gh for further details. So are you looking for a freight forwarding company to handle your inbound and outbound shipments? If yes, look no further because IAS FedEx offers a wide variety of international freight services, which include air freight, sea freight, be it less container load or full container load, customs clearance and documentation. And our international operations link more than 200 countries, supported by extensive domestic networks in all markets, and offer a range of fast and direct freight services to suit your needs. We have dedicated staff who have in-depth knowledge in our local customs clearance processes and procedures. IAS or FedEx pre-finances freight pickups up to an agreed threshold for our clients, but hey, terms and conditions apply. Please contact us for free consultation on international freight services and customs clearance processes. Call us on 0501 605,000 or 0501 631,000. With IAS Ghana, your freight is family secure.
Message. Well, I got news for you. You ain't heard nothing yet.
So we got fantastic news for people who live and work at Oyarifa. Ghana's largest privately owned bank, Fidelity Bank, is opening a brand new branch at Oyarifa. Now, we are closer to you than ever. Visit our new branch today at the Owusu Ansa Junction, Oyarifa, to enjoy our suite of top-notch banking services and experience superior customer service in a delightful and inviting environment. We look forward to serving you. Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
I feel like having some church up in here. Come on, chat. I can't explain it. I can't obtain it. Jesus, your love is so amazing. It gets me high up to the sky. And when I think about your goodness, it makes me want.
The songs you're hearing right here on the Super Morning Show will inspire you as you get into the day. But now time for Nutrition Line, brought to us by Nestle. Nestle offers good food for a good life.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo all-in-one for you. It's so milky, eh? I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids all in one. It's truly milky and rich in calcium. Milo, energy to go further. Milo. This advert is FDA approved.
This is Nestle Nutrition Line. Nestle Nutrition Line is a public service program from Nestle Ghana Limited. Nestle Nutrition Line offers tips on good food for a good life. Now to your presenter.
Good morning, good morning. This is Nestle Nutrition Line, the one and only, full of delicious, creamy goodness just for you. I hope you're well, I hope you're happy, and I hope great things are happening in your life. I'm Jackie Ankra, also known as Na Ajilisoa. Today on Nutrition Line, we continue our discussion on oral health and nutrition, and we're going to focus on foods that help protect the teeth. Fresh fruits and vegetables help in protecting the teeth because, in addition to the important nutrients and vitamins they provide, the fiber in them helps stimulate the gum tissue and remove bacterial debris as you chew. The dietary fiber also stimulates the flow of saliva, which cleans the mouth and also neutralizes the acids that attack your teeth. Since the teeth are made up of calcium, eating calcium-rich fish like sardine, herring, and mackerel help your teeth. These calcium-rich fish are also rich in fatty acids that contain DHA or docosahexaenoic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid which helps combat oral diseases. Water is essential to your diet and health and also protects your teeth. Water naturally washes away acids, bacteria, and food when you drink it. Tap water also contains the mineral fluoride, which strengthens the teeth and helps prevent dental caries. This is all that time will allow for today, but I'd like to thank you for tuning in this and every weekday morning. It means so much to us because without you, there is no partnership. So let's keep it going. Let's keep working together. The numbers to call 0302 517 020 or 0302 211 880. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Toll free 0800 1200001. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to midnight. Weekends and holidays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also WhatsApp, SMS, or call between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. the following numbers: 0593 845697, 0593 845649, 0593 845708. Alternatively, send an email, please, to consumerservices@gh.nestle.com. I wish you a beautiful, fruitful, successful day. Make it count. Enjoy every moment. Bye.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo all-in-one for you. It's so milky, eh? I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids all in one. It's truly milky and rich in calcium. Milo, energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. Only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data, or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN Just For You. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique Just For You package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Have you ever thought of the one that makes you complete? An escape from the clutches of interest charges. With the Standard Chartered Visa debit and credit cards, payments are completed at the speed of light, intertwined with interest-earning accounts. You also get unbelievable rewards every time you swipe. You have access to over 1,200 airport lounges worldwide. High credit limits of up to 100,000 Ghana cedis and up to 50 days interest-free with our credit cards. You also get to enjoy full multi-trip travel insurance for 90 days. Fees discounted at your feet with our globally partnered merchant points. Bills are always settled, not battled. Get the Standard Chartered debit and credit card now. Call toll-free on 0800 740 100 or 0302 740 100 or reach us via email on feedback.ghana@sc.com. Standard Chartered, here for good.
1xBet Jackpot is here with weekly massive prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is place your bets on any sports game and stand a chance to win. Simply register at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code JackpotGhana and place your bets. 1xBet is your key to great victories. Feel like a winner. 1xBet.
Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
could fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I just never understood how a man who died for good could not.
All right, so welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Once you hear this, you know that it's time for the birthday messages here on the Super Morning Show, brought to us by MTN. Everywhere you go, Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner, and Niche Confectionery. Niche chocolate drink made with Ghana's finest wholesome cocoa. Niche chocolate is full of delicious goodness and enriched with vitamins, minerals. Niche taste of Ghana. Now let's get into the messages and see whose birthday it is today here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And let me start. So this one says, happy birthday to Abigail Okaifo Ato, who's administrator of Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Graduate School of Nuclear and Allied Science. May this lovely day bring happiness and new opportunities in your life. Wishing you the happiest birthday ever from Winifred Ya Osei and the entire Ato family, who say they love you. Happy birthday to Irabna Trewa Harden of Ancilla Preparatory School. You're 12 years old today. May you rule over your generation and fulfill your destiny. May the glory of God cover you and grant you long life with good health from Dad, Mom, Sika, Nanaba, and Nanabenyin Harden, who say they love you. And this one says, happy birthday to the sweetest mother-in-law ever, Mrs. Abigail Pentil, former DAG and current president of GASPA. We truly appreciate you and pray that you continue to enjoy grace and favor from Leila Pentil, Alfred Sharon, and Michael Pentil to you. And finally, he says, a happy birthday to our amazing son, Festus Elikem Gomashi. We're so grateful to God that we have a son as splendid as you. You are joy and inspiration in so many ways. May your future shine bright and be full of many good times. Happy birthday from Dad and Mom, Mr. and Mrs. Gomashi, your siblings, Felix and Gisela. Happy birthday to you, Elikem. You're such a big boy now, eh? You're growing old. And also, let me just say good morning to Gerald Bonsu Pelano and Linda Edu, all of you, at Casa Precum. All right, let's get into the sports yet. Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fine. How about you?
I'm okay. Happy birthday to everybody celebrating their birthday today. So for me, happy birthday to everybody.
Oh, okay. So
you know, it's funny because I don't even know where to find the birthday notifications on my Facebook anymore. I'm growing old.
You're growing old. Go to yesterday's. You find
yesterday.
this.
What do you mean yesterday's?
You had no notification yesterday.
What notification?
About birthdays.
No, my brother, I'm looking at the Facebook.
Well, the problem is that
I'm not okay. Events, right? You go to, no events
please,
now.
Please.
They've turned it into like.
See, hold on.
Events happening.
Oh, thank you. You're a young man. Hold on. We'll direct Aaron and Co to help you. But let's give all those who are celebrating their birthday a K at this morning. So it's a K. How are you doing once again?
You see, this morning I'm full of energy.
Good.
I had a very restful night yesterday. Yes. You know, the thing is, Tuesdays I'm always very, very cranky because Monday nights are super late, then come very early on Tuesday. Well, by Wednesday I've recovered my energy. So.
Okay, then let's get into the Sports Center, proudly brought to us by MTN. Everywhere you go. Standard Chartered Bank, here for good. Allianz Life Insurance, we secure your future. And 1xBet, your reliable bookmaker. And finally, DSTV, it's your
moment. And let's begin with this. Have you heard about the Allianz for Life plan? It's an affordable life insurance policy you can get wherever you are. Simply dial *170# on MTN and select 5521 and voila! You and another life are covered for hospitalization and death. You also enjoy very low premium, cashbacks every year, and many more. Call Allianz Life Insurance on 0308 249 090-0308-249-090 or visit our website on alliance-gh.com. It's Alliance for Life. The hashtag or the number is *170# on MTN, *170# on MTN. Macho for life.
Well, so there's good news for small to medium scale business owners. Because look, with MTN SME Plus, you get to manage all your operational costs in communication, and the service simply allows you to choose from affordable packages and enjoy talk time, SMS data, and business content, all bundled in one subscription. The other exciting news is you get free on-net calls every Monday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Simply dial *5060# to sign up today. WhatsApp or call 0244308111 for more information and stay connected everywhere you go.
That's right. And one of the world's largest betting companies, 1xBet, is always looking for new ways to reward its players and deliver new promotions to engage as many customers as possible. This time, the bookmaker launched the Jackpot of the Week promotion, allowing registered players to enjoy the chance to have a share of the weekly jackpot amount. All the terms and conditions are available on the promotion page. Give your luck a chance. Sign up with 1xBet today and use the promo code GJackpot to receive an incredible 300% bonus of up to 2,650 Ghana cedis.
So do you lead a global, do you lead a corporate business, a global subsidiary, or run the affairs of a small or medium enterprise? Well, as a key decision maker in your business, we know you want to make payments seamlessly and access real-time transaction data, whether you're at work or on the go. Well, Standard Chartered provides the digital key to help unlock your business potential. That key is Straight to Bank, a single access, end-to-end digital platform that helps you manage the needs of your business on the go, view transactions, pay your business partners and government institutions through Ghana.gov, facilitate real-time payments and collections with the latest encryption technology and security. Elevate your banking experience today with Straight to Bank, our award-winning digital banking platform powering payroll, cash management, trade, and securities. You can always bank on us. Kindly email us on premierservice.gh@sc.com to sign up today.
And it's all of the Premier League all on DSTV. Catch all the goals, moments, clashes, derbies, and drama. Make sure to stay tuned to all of Rashford, all of Haaland, and all of Saka. Watch it all unfold live in HD with the option of our exciting commentary in G. All this on the package of your choice. No one else offers all of the Premier League but DSTV. Get your DSTV decoder with 1-month compact subscription for 299 Ghana cedis or stay connected on *759# to enjoy it all. DSTV, it's your moment.
Yes, and before we get into the sports today, I mean, the biggest celebration of it all is the Queen's birthday, the Queen of the Airwaves. Doreen Andoh.
Love that woman.
Oh, yes.
Love that woman.
Yes.
She's been doing this for how long?
28 years.
Nearly 3 decades.
Yes.
And every single day still sounds so fresh.
I tell you.
It's unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable.
Look, when people are, advising journalists or advising broadcasters, they actually tell them, be like Doreen. She writes everything.
Yeah.
In fact, she knows even the songs she played 10 years ago.
Unbelievable.
She's so
my favorite thing about her, she is more Gen Z than Gen Z. She knows the music people like Michelle Kwenu like.
Yeah.
And she knows the music people like Jay Kufuor like.
Yeah.
And that's the best part of it.
I tell you. So, the Queen of the Airwaves, Doreen Andoh.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. We're waiting for the party. She turns 51 today.
Oh,
yes,
amazing.
51 years.
That's a blessing.
Great, so let's get into the sports, Fentio.
Yes, good morning, all of you. Welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Center with me, Fentio Tahir Fentio. This morning, we're beginning with Lante van der Poel, former Minister for Youth and Sport. He wants a redesign of Ghana's school system to properly accommodate sports, which is only seen as a pastime activity for students and kids. He wants Ghana to look at sports as a tool capable of sparking economic growth.
Sports is not just for recreation and to galvanize all Ghanaians when the national team is playing or when we have games. Sports is an industry. And so, do I want to have an integrated industry? What are the supply chain for sports? What are the value chains that you want to develop in order to enhance and for you to be able to get to your objectives. Once we do that, then we know what we do. So then we know that the national team or athletics, what do we have to do? Encourage basic school athletics, encourage secondary schools and colleges, get the universities, the university games, the West Africa University Games, and all these games running. The only reason why Jamaica, US, and the rest are doing well in other sporting disciplines like athletics is because they tend to look at the basic, the hatchery, the incubation point where the athletes are nurtured, developed. Almost all the internationally acclaimed sportsmen in the US, in the UK, and in Jamaica, for example, had gone through the schools and colleges, the NCAA, and the rest.
That's Neelante van der Poy there. There are some people that have already taken that step in Africa. Two of them are Egypt and Morocco, and it's yielding results because both countries have now qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Egypt's U23 football team made it after beating Guinea 1-0 in yesterday's semi-final game at the U23 AFCON ongoing in Morocco. The host nation Morocco themselves also qualified. They had to do it the hard way via a penalty shootout, beating Mali 4-3 after the game ended in an enthralling 2-2 draw after extra time. Egypt and Morocco will not play in the final, of course, of that competition for the trophy. Meanwhile, that third place playoff match between Mali and Guinea is what will give Africa's last slot, and the winner will take it all. Now, while the Black Meteors won't be there, the Ghana Boxing Federation will ensure Ghana boxing is represented. The process for the recruitment of national team boxers who will participate in the yet-to-be-scheduled qualifiers for the boxing event in France, where the Olympics will be held, is being rolled out. The GBF, that's the Ghana Boxing Federation, has announced a national individual championship to be held between July 12 and 14. So what key things should we look out for in that particular show-off? Nathaniel Atto has the answers.
The National Individual Championship is an age-long practice by the Ghana amateur boxing team, the Black Bombers, to get the best, boxers in every weight division. One of the key issues that we'll be looking out for will be the story of Samuel Techi and the situation of Samuel Techi, who is Ghana's only medalist from the last edition of the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. Now, do remember that when we brought that feature, of the national team struggling to get camping for the African Championship, the administration of the Ghana Boxing Federation spoke about how nobody would get automatic entry into the national team. So if Samuel Techi, just like has been said a couple of times, would want to go to the Olympic Games to participate again, then he would have to take part in this individual championship. Otherwise, he will not get the opportunity. There's no automatic entry for any boxer. If you are good in any weight division, you have to fight with whoever is currently number one in that weight division so that we see who the best is. It's as simple as that.
Nathaniel Atto. Let's return to football. Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum, former head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, he looks set for a return to the Porcupine Warriors. It's a massive twist because he left his role in June 2021 after leading the Porcupine Warriors to the Ghana Premier League title. He's not the only popular football name who's been linked after the dissolution of the board and management team. Former Black Stars boss Kwesi Appiah yesterday met with club owner Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II, and we were made to understand that he had been handed the job, but late last night, a twist or a late development. Stephen Zando of our sister station Love FM has more.
Former Black Stars head coach James Kwesi Appiah may be picking a new role at Asante Kotoko heading into the 2023-24 football season. His reported links to the Porcupine Warriors heightened when the former Kotoko player was spotted at Menchia Palace earlier on Tuesday. According to our checks, James Kwesi Appiah was invited to the Palace over the possibility of picking a new role at the club. The report further indicated that Appiah was given a proposed long-term project which will see him work for the Reds for a number of years and is convinced about the project. However, it is unclear whether Coach Kwesi Appiah has been approached to coach Kotoko or be given a managerial role instead. Though Kwesi Appiah's name has been mentioned, Kotoko fans should not be surprised to hear that former coach Dr. Prose Ogumnate has been approached to stage a stunning comeback to the Porcupine Warriors, with Manshia Palace exploring its options to get a new management and head coach.
Steven Zando. Now, 28 players and 8 technical team members, alongside one referee, around 6:30 p.m. last night, concluded a 72-hour bus journey to Niamey, Niger, for the Africa Under-21 volleyball tournament. Ghana's U20 men's and women's volleyball teams, who crossed the Niger border around 5 p.m. last night, were scheduled to play their first game this morning. They set off from Ghana in a passenger bus on Monday, but their women's team will now face Nigeria this afternoon, while the men take on Cote d'Ivoire on Friday. Joy Sports sources within the Ghana Volleyball Federation are unsure if their letter for funding sent to the Ministry of Youth and Sport more than a month ago has yielded any results yet. But the volleyball team was welcomed in Niger by Ghana's mission.
They are lodging at the Stadium Hotel, Ghana Embassy in the Niger. Met the team on arrival, and as I speak to you now, they are with the team providing some petty items that they might need during their stay. They were all in high spirits, and I hope that the following days will bring better things to us. But we had to call the Ghana mission to inform them before our departure.
All right, so Tete is the president of the Ghana Volleyball Association. Meanwhile, the Ghana Football Association, they've launched the women's football strategy to anchor the development of the women's game in the country. GFA President Keto Kroku says the FA is committed to ensuring young girls with a dream are capable of reaching the highest level of the sport.
It is the declaration of our dedication to gender equality and the spirit of inclusivity. It sends a clear message that women's football matters, and it is time for us to invest in its growth and development. We are committed as the Football Association to providing every young girl in Ghana with equal opportunities, allowing them to dream big and to pursue their passion for football without limitations. This strategy is as a result of extensive research, collaboration, and consultation. It is a roadmap for success encompassing various aspects such as infrastructure development, coaching programs, talent identification, and support system.
That's the GFA president, Ket Okreku. Let's go to Europe. Mason Mount has told Chelsea fans a move to Man United is what's right for his career at this moment. The England international addressed supporters in a social media video on Tuesday.
I feel we deserve more than just a written statement, so I wanted to tell you directly how grateful I've been for all of your support over the last 18 years. I know some of you won't be happy with my decision, but it's what's right for me at this moment in my career. I joined Chelsea when I was 6 years old, and we've been through a lot together. Winning the Youth Cup, my Player of the Year awards, the Super Cup, the Club World Cup, and of course the unforgettable night when we won the Champions League. I want to say thank you to the Academy, Jim and Neil, for being so influential to me from such a young age. The managers I've worked under, Frank, Thomas and Graham, the backroom staff, the unsung heroes.
That's Mason Mount. He's agreed a transfer to United on a 5-year contract for £55 million and, of course, an extra $5 million in add-ons. His best friend is Declan Rice. They started at the Chelsea Academy together. He's on his way to Arsenal. He's expected to complete his medical today after Arsenal met West Ham's valuation of the player for £100 million fee plus an extra 5 in add-ons. Roberto Firmino, on the other hand, has joined Saudi Pro League side Al Ahly on a 3-year deal after leaving Liverpool. The Brazil forward is 31 now and was a free agent after his Liverpool contract expired at the end of last season. And this is one of the biggest stories in Europe. Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti will leave the club at the end of his contract in order to take the reins as Brazil head coach ahead of the 2026 World Cup in Canada, Mexico, and the USA. After months of speculation, CBF President Ednaldo Rodriguez has delivered the coach that he claimed was first choice for Brazilians. Ancelotti has consistently denied any deal with Brazil, saying he will fulfill his contract with Los Blancos, and he will do so with his deal up in the summer of 2024. So that's the thing. Until then, though, Fluminense coach Fernando Diniz will occupy the job on an interim basis until Ancelotti arrives next summer. Before we go, some tennis updates. Andy Murray maintained his record of never losing in the Wimbledon first round with an encouraging victory over fellow Briton Ryan Penningston. In the women's draw, defending champion Elena Rybakina recovered from a nervous start to avoid a first round exit against American Shelby Rogers. However, last year's runner-up Ons Jabeur and second seed Arina Sabalenka swept through with straight sets wins. And that's the latest from the world of sports this morning on the Joy Sports Center with me, Fentu, Tahir Fentu. There's more sports on our website at myjoyonline.com/sports. Winston.
Yeah, Fentu.
You all right?
Oh, I'm fantastic, as always.
Yeah.
I know Gary is a happy man. His school is trending.
Gary Al Smith.
His school is trending.
Good
morning, everybody.
Good morning. Why are you pretending that you just got here? We have seen you.
You say your school is trending. He's going to several schools. You have to be specific.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Presec, of course.
Is it Presec or GIG or?
So we don't make reference to GIG. We are making reference to Presec.
Guy, what do you know your JSS?
Engelbert School.
Primary.
The fact that,
GSS, yes.
we're told that the National Science and Maths quiz, look, they delivered.
Well, yes.
And someone sends a tweet.
Let me talk like the contestants, the boys. They delivered.
I saw the video.
By the grace of God.
This one. but you see, there's a tweet here. There's a tweet here. One that says, but sometimes these top schools like Presec, Wesley Girls, Prempeh are so funny. You pick the best students from JHS and claim you are the best. Why don't you pick the worst or average students and make them the best if you are indeed the best?
That's the thing. Well, please, like me, they should have admitted me from Tumu.
But I think that the new regime of the SHS, the free SHS, has debunked that notion, because the computerized system actually does not do what was done before.
So it's not only just students with 8 A's or 10 A's or 10 ones that are.
So probably when Winston was in school, when I was in school, when you were in school at the time, Presec and some of these so-called category A schools will pick the best.
Yeah.
But now with the computerized system, you have.
They mix it up.
Yes, they mix it up.
So are you telling me right now,
if there are some schools that are still performing, then I think
there has to be something right.
There's something in the water, and it's not just that.
I have a question though. If you go to Presec today, would you get a student there that came there that was admitted with aggregate 35?
I don't know what the system. I've not really followed. But from what I believe from the computerized play system, it gives opportunities to.
I know. I had that. So I can't say. I wanted to verify.
There are people from deprived communities.
Yes.
Who could apply to Presec.
Yeah.
What do you mean apply? You apply.
Okay. Yeah. And these students gain admission.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you that there's a student at grade 35. I don't have that fact.
I don't have that fact.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you. But I know somebody with aggregate 23 at Presec.
Yeah.
That I know. Fact.
So in my case, it's at Shimota this year. A lady, from my wife's side, applied for a top school in Kumasi. Was not given that school, but was given Achimota school.
Interesting.
Like, they had not applied to a school at the level or to the level of Achimota school. They weren't giving any of the Kumasi schools, but were given Achimota. And she had, not a bad grade, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 or so. And so she's at Achimota now. Yeah. So that I can say. But anyway, why are we talking about this?
Yeah. No, I was just saying that because
the regionals, where you disciplined Achimota. Hold on a second, let me bring in the NSMQ Jama, this thing. Because the way you discipline Achimota, the Achimota people are crying. Okay, so there you have it. So we are heading to the final. It's today, right? It's Chemu Secondary School, Accra Academy, Presec, and Tema Methodist SHS.
Presec was involved in the first contest. It was quite interesting. Chemu have been good in the last few years when it comes to. They've been very good. Yeah. So they beat Laboni, Ashaiman, and Wesley Grammar in the first contest. In the second contest, Accra Academy. Then I think this is what instigated or agitated the Presec fan base, because Accra Academy won quite comfortably, beating St. Thomas Aquinas, Odogono in the second contest, so they were making noise. Then Presec came and gave Achimota and West Africa, so it was 58, 29, 29. You know what that means? Yeah. 29 plus 29 58. Is 58. Yeah. So you add the two schools and you get Presec. What did I say? Good. Okay. Then the fourth contest was Tema Methodist, Medas. They beat St. John's Grammar and Ganata. It was very close, 24, 22, 10. So which means that the final for today will be Chemu, Accra Academy, Presec, and Tema Methodist, and that'll be at 9 a.m.
Oh, okay. So by the time we'll be done with the Super Morning Show, we'll know who is in the lead.
Yeah, sort of. Yes. And it's streamlined on YouTube and all.
It's hard though. Some conversations, some people cannot join.
You cannot join. Oh, feel free and join.
But join and say what?
But I don't know. You see, I don't know what
in the history of this competition, the secondary school I went to, Canton Secondary School, they only made one quarter final, and that was back in 2021. And since then,
let me give a final.
This is good.
Let me.
It was very good. National quarter final.
You see, thanks. You are living
just like Samuel Adami School. They made semi-finals.
Accra Academy. No.
They've never won before.
Where did they pass?
See, if me I talk this matter, they will say I'm doing again. Anyway, I'm saying Fento is living vicariously through. Fento is a Wesley Girls woman. His wife is Wesley Girls.
Please.
You understand?
Secondary schools are not transmitted.
No, it's transmitted.
The man went to secondary school.
Thank you. Say that.
Look. You see the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. We made him an honorary order there. So the president says all the time that he's an honorary order there. You understand? Because
what are you suggesting?
Go to secondary school.
What? That I can be an honorary what?
Wesley Girls person.
It's girls.
Look, at Presec weddings, what we do to the woman is that we initiate her into and we give her the pin, and then we call her order there.
Please.
You understand?
Please.
So it is transmitted.
Wesley Girls, they don't do that.
Oh,
they don't do that.
Fentio went to
Canton Secondary School. That is where it ends.
I went to Mauli School. Ends there. Samuel Adami went to Accra. Best performance, semi-finals. No problem. They are just like us, semi-finals.
Anyway,
he's not reached the
have you people seen the petition on Twitter?
What's the petition?
The petition to ban Presec from the NSMQ. You have not seen
somebody even said Presec used you.
I
saw it.
Right, so this is the petition.
They won't ban you.
It's on change.org. There is a petition to ban
and people are voting.
And people are signing the signature.
They won't ban you.
There's a petition to ban Presec from NSMQ. Sign the petition. It's on change.org.
Oh, it is Presec people who are doing that.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Why would Presec do that?
You are doing that to draw attention to your school. I'm suggesting to you. The Presecans are the ones doing that. Nobody will ban anybody.
Wait, what secondary school did you go to?
I went to Mauli.
What's your highest placement?
Semi-finals.
Which year?
Oh, we're there in 2018, 2019 or so.
It's been quite consistent.
Last year we beat Wesley Girls convincingly. Rough.
No, but these days Wesley Girls.
But when it comes to defeat, he's pointing at me while talking about Wesley Girls. But when it comes to the success, they don't associate
with the Wesley Girls one. The Wesley Girls. When I was in Ho,
yes.
Part of the reason I went to Mauli School, when I was in Ho, at the time Mauli beat Wesley Girls in the NSMQ.
Okay.
The old Brilliant Science and Maths.
My
sister went to Wesley Girls. She finished in 95. So those times when we see the Wesley Girls win, we call them Mauli. So the last year one, when we finished, then I called my sister. Ajwa say who scores no. I say na yinti na frame ya. Me say Ebeka say my misika yinti na frame ya. So that one is there. We have been trying so hard to reach the finals. We've not. In fact, we selected a president who established the NSMQ 25, got 25 old Malians to support the team.
Yeah.
And we are hoping that this time around, at least, finals near Nubi.
Yeah.
But
it will come.
It will come.
And speaking of Wesley Girls, Kumasi Wesley Girls they lost in the final as well in the Ashanti region. So the Ashanti Regional Championship also ended with Anglican SHS.
Supercars.
Yeah, Supercars.
Supercars.
Charlie, they worry about.
Anyway, thank you.
So it's at 9 a.m. and I'm sure you give them.
Well, I'll give them.
Updates before 10.
If you want to, please don't go and sign any petition. And the pre-seconds who have launched the petition to don't do that. We know that the Science and Maths quiz you have been doing very well. Record holder. It's okay. No petition. Thank you very much, Gary. Canton Secondary School. Thank you.
Evans Mensah sent a message.
You're welcome.
He says secondary schools are transmitted through the, So that is why even though he went to Aquinas, he's a Wesley Girls old boy.
Can I say
Evans Mensah says he's a Wesley Girls old
boy. In that case, please.
They are a girls' school, or they are not a boys' school.
My brother.
Bye-bye.
My brother. I even once got into trouble for tweeting something in favor of Wesley Girls. When I first met my wife,
yes,
I went to tweet that I had dated some girl from some other school, and that Ankoye until I met a Wesley Girls student.
My friend,
and guess what?
You have said the truth.
And guess what?
Truth is the truth.
And guess what?
What?
After that, all the boys were tweeting that, am I in trouble? If I'm in trouble, I should say, is that this is SOS call?
Look, let me say good morning to our partners from EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Ghana AIDS Commission test to know your HIV status and take steps to protect your health, and number 10 liver salt, a refreshing relief and GTP live start for bringing us social media messages here on the Super Morning Show. Get there, get onto Twitter, use the hashtag JoySMS. You want to comment on the NSMQ, Greater Accra Regional Contest, but as your existing salary account give you more, is your salary in the right account? Worry no more, because the EcoBank salary account is here to help you. Open an EcoBank salary account today and enjoy free life insurance, which covers temporary and permanent disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and death. With the EcoBank salary account, you have the ability to save as you spend, free debit card, access to loans, and more. And the best part is you stand the chance to double your salary in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded from now till end of July. So open an EcoBank salary account today by visiting the EcoBank branch or ecobank.com to open an account online for amazing benefits. Please beware of scammers who may contact you on this offer. Always visit an EcoBank branch or call toll-free on 0800 003 225 for further details on the EcoBank salary account and the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded. Terms and conditions apply. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank.
This one, Gantuan account.
Why are you running?
It's all about the EcoBank salary account.
EcoBank salary account. Why? You gonna make me fly?
I promise it will make your pockets rise. The salary account comes with many incredible benefits, like free life insurance, which covers permanent total disability, critical illness, hospitalization, temporal disability, retrenchment, and death. Also save while you spend, access loans, get free debit cards, and the chance to double your salary and more in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded. It's starting from this May to July 31st, 2023. And there are so many other consolation prizes to be won.
Hey, no wonder my hand was itching. This is the perfect account for my salary.
So go ahead, open an EcoBank salary account today. You also stand a chance to win more than double your salary from 1st of May to the 31st of July in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is under the supervision of the National Lottery Authority under the Caritas Lottery Platform. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Home is your sanctuary. Home is a reflection of who you are, an extension of your inner being. Take your time, get it right. The furniture, the decor, the accessories, the lights. When it feels like you, it feels like home. Shop at Orca for the most variety of quality furniture and accessories to personalize your space and make your house a home. Visit the Orca Deco Superstore on Spinkters Road today.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show. Time now for the Joy Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you, and MacDen Aviation, your dependable private aviation solution.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you and McDan Aviation, your dependable private aviation solution. The director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Korte, has advised government to update the public on its effort in cutting down expenditure in the media budget review. The Ghana Stock Exchange says it is working hard to reduce concentration risk on the capital market, a move that will reduce any losses as a result of an economic shock. The managing director of Societe Generale PLC, Hakim Wizani, has indicated that the bank is in good standing and would be able to withstand the impact of a second domestic debt exchange program. And a small but growing number of tech firms have cited AI as a reason for laying off workers and rethinking new hires in recent months. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you and McDan Aviation, your dependable private aviation solution.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Well, good morning to you, Evans Mensah. I never knew that you were prepared to leave St. Thomas Aquinas to Wesley Girls. It's a girls' school, for Christ's sake. At least associate yourself with a mixed school where you can fit. How do you leave your boys' school to a girls' school? Anyway, bank conveniently and on the go. Take digital banking to the next level with CBG's Experience Bundle. Enjoy real-time updates on your transactions and balances, expense tracking to help you better manage your finances and easy bill payments. Fast and convenient access to cash 24/7 through our bouquet of digital solutions such as SMS alerts, e-alert, CBG internet banking, CBG mobile banking app, USSD *924# and CBG proprietary card, all on CBG's Experience Bundle. It's easy, secure, and user-friendly. For more information on how to access CBG's Experience Bundle, walk into any of our 114 branches nationwide or contact us on 0302-216-000. Email info@cbg.com.gh or visit our website, cbg.com.gh, or on all our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for further details. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, we stand with you. And on Big Stories this morning, brought to us by Vodafone, further together, latest phone, your partner for life. Belmonte by CPL developers, the ultimate luxury experience. And Access Bank, your number one remittance bank, Access Bank, more than banking. Our focus is on credit rating agencies.
As the AU champion for African financial institutions and leader of a country which recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history. Difficulties which were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of capital markets and turning a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis.
So the president has been complaining about credit rating agencies. He's asked that simple question: why are they being reckless? But he's also called for an African credit rating agency. So this morning, we asked that simple question: are the credit rating agencies biased towards Africa? And can we establish an African credit rating agency? Would the world take us seriously if we establish one? Stay with us right here on the Super Morning Show as we have this all-important conversation. Because what happens to you and what happens to your economy, your ability to borrow, is dependent on these credit rating agencies and how they assess you. And as you may have heard already, part of our problems that we experienced was because we were downgraded, and so with no option, we were shut out of the international market and couldn't go back there. But let me tell you more about the Vodafone Edim promo, which is finally here. Receive up to 20% of your money back in your Vodafone Cash wallet when you recharge with 5 Ghana cedis or more. But Nedim, here's to more reasons to keep your conversations going. With the Edim promo, you can even send credit to a friend, and they too will receive up to 20% instant cash recharge with 5 Ghana cedis or more from your preferred short code, your Vodafone Cash wallet, credit transfer, My Vodafone app, or other preferred payment platforms. The higher you recharge, the more you get back. Keep reloading in the Edim promotion and win with Vodafone. Vodafone, further together. But are you looking for a 1-seater, 2-seater, 3-seater L-shaped sofa crafted to the finest details and available in various colors for your home, office, or hotel? If you're looking for comfort, durability, quality, and that perfect finishing, look no further. Latest Foam is your one-stop shop. Whatever your choice or budget, buy from the best, not the imitated. Buy Latest Foam. Latest Foam, your partner for life. And welcome to Belmonte, where luxury meets comfort. If you're in the market for a home that combines class, convenience, and comfort, then look no further than Belmonte. Belmonte is located in the prime East Legon area of Lagos Avenue. The Belmonte stylish apartment offers first-class luxury and cutting-edge finishing. So whether you're looking for an executive studio suite, a cozy one-bedroom apartment, a spacious two-bedroom apartment, or a custom villa, we've got you covered. But that's not all. Belmonte also offers a range of top-notch facilities to relax and keep you entertained. So why wait to take the first step towards your dream home? Sign up for our 3-year payment plan and own your property today. Contact us on 0204-343-011 or 0204-343-015. Belmonte is developed by CPL. And a poly-maintained car engine can age faster. That's why we offer specially formulated Quartz engine oil with age resistance technology. It's a breakthrough innovation that ensures optimal performance for your engine and improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%. Even under extreme temperatures and pressure, choosing Quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz keep your engine younger for longer. Stay with us right here on the Super Morning Show. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, you ever buy credits where you get up to 20% of your money back before? Make I tell you about Vodafone's demo promo. See, anytime you recharge a demo, you get up to 20%, whether it be short code or your Vodafone cash wallet, or you use credit transfer to your number or someone else. And now you be high tech, so you use my Vodafone app or any payment app. However you do, Vodafone go send you up to 20% cash back. Into your Vodafone cash account. We'll reload here, but then you enter. Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Welcome to Belmonte, where luxury meets comfort. If you're in the market for a home that combines class, convenience, and comfort, then look no further than Belmonte. Belmonte is located in the prime East Legon area of Lagos Avenue. The Belmonte stylish apartment offers first-class luxury and cutting-edge finishing. Whether you are looking for an executive studio suite or a cozy one-bedroom apartment, a spacious two-bedroom apartment, or a custom villa, we have you covered. But that's not all. Belmonte offers a range of top-notch facilities to relax and keep you entertained. So why wait? Take the first step towards your dream home. Sign up for our 3-year payment plan and own your property today. Contact us at 0204-343-011 or 0204-343-015 to learn more. Belmonte is developed by CPL Developers.
It's morning in Africa. It won't be bright for another hour or two, but the continent is already on the move. Trade is kicking up and spirits are high as the continent prepares to move yet another 1 million tons of goods to markets across the seas. It's the hour for making tea and coffee, of cotton bales, splitting wood, diamonds in metal boxes, and tall buildings going up. The train engines are revving up, factories are opening, and big undersea cables are pushing the continent alive. 4 time zones, 1 million opportunities, and vibrant young professionals 100 million strong. It's morning in Africa, and one bank is opening the door to endless opportunities. With seamless Pan-African payment and trade solutions and presence in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, we are Africa's gateway to the world.
Access, more than banking.
Hi, now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park. On our arrival, we were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through an orientation on how best to enjoy the experience. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park. We saw zebras, sable antelopes, crown cranes, maras, silky chicken, emus, wallabies, deer, ponies, and so many animals. We watched the animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. Our tour guide told us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing. Then we took a break to have lunch in the beauty of the open space. All of this fun and activities for a starting price of 250 cedis, and it's free for children below 6 years. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before our sunset dinner by the campfire. We've had a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait to visit again. Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
A bank that supports you, a bank that cares for you. Hand in hand, we stand with you. So lift your head up, big dreams are waiting. We'll walk with you wherever you go. Where all your dreams come alive, CBG will make you smile. We will rise with you. Your business will flourish. Your name will stand out. Consolidated Bank, CBG. We stand with you.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Coming up this morning, we'll be getting into our conversation shortly. I'll tell you more about that conversation, the conversation about credit rating agencies. We'll have that conversation shortly. But Absa Bank says they know that life is go, and it's hard to make time for the things that really count, so they won't let banking get in your way. That's how with Absa's digital channels, you can bank when, where, and how you want, so you can focus on what or who's important to you. Banking has never been this easy. Transfer funds into your savings account, pay your old school union dues and your DSTV subscription, and many more with a click on your phone. Get things done simply with Absa's digital channels. That's Africanacity. That's Absa. Terms and conditions apply. Visit absa.com.gh for further details. Now, Safari Valley Eco Park introduces the Safari Wildlife Experience by creating an environment that fosters the harmonious cohabitation of forest, water, humans, and wildlife such as zebra, sable antelope, llama, wallaby, fallow deer, Pentagonian mara, and many others, where everyone can come and experience these majestic creatures at a starting price of 250 Ghana cedis and free for children up to 6 years. It's only an hour's drive from Accra. It opens from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. each day. Visit Safari Valley Eco Park with your friends and family today for a thrill of a lifetime. Now, Davecon Group Limited, wholly Ghanaian, in partnership with Besta Work, that's Besta.dk apps and Europe, have introduced international work and paid internship opportunities for graduates and continuing students in Europe. If you're pursuing a degree in livestock or animal science, in agriculture, food technology, and hospitality, or you have graduated with a degree in these courses between 2019 and 2023, this opportunity is for you. To know more about the eligibility criteria, call us or send a WhatsApp message to any of the following numbers: 0501 523067 or 0201 768 108 or 0240 712355 or 0201 768 067. You may also visit the career opportunities page on our website, Davecon Group Limited, so Davecon spelled DAVCON Group Limited.com. Our office is located in the Ofuriwa Plaza on the Andy Part Drive in Sakomono, opposite the Regimano Estate near Nungwa Barrier. With over 5 years, excellent track record of recruitment in specialized sectors like maritime and offshore, we can assure you at Davecon, we handle it simple. So this morning we have a conversation about the credit rating agencies. The president has been speaking about them. He's talked about how the recklessness of these rating agencies led Ghana's liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis. We ask very simple questions. Now, are these rating agencies biased, against Africa compared to other countries? And can it be stated that what we are experiencing today is as a result of these credit rating agencies? Is it also about time we set up an African credit rating agency? And who'd really take the African credit rating agency serious? Would that be a credit rating agency that would only deal within Africa, or the international capital market in Europe and the Americas will also take us serious? This morning we're having that conversation, and it's a conversation that concerns all of us. Why? Because we are in the current situation we are today because our ratings were downgraded. And so if we ever think of improving and building a robust and resilient economy, it'd be important for us to actually look at how we're seen by the international capital market. And so if you're listening to us in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM in Sunyani, on Sky FM in Takrade, on Radio Max, in Kofuridi on K2U Radio, in Ho on Volta Premier, in Bogatanga on Radio A1, in Tamale on Radio Justice, wherever you find yourself listening to us this morning, this is definitely the place to be. Stay with us on the return after these messages. We'll introduce our guest, then the conversations will begin.
Now we go live in 3, 2, 1.
Airtel Tigo is now 80. It's Airtel Tigo. It's okay, Abna. Say Airtel, say Sadie. That you know simple cry. 80. Simple.
Tell your neighbor to tell a neighbor that your favorite telecommunication network, Airtel Tigo, is now 80. Simple. New name, but still provides you with affordable and reliable internet, clear calls, secure money services, and much more.
80. Life is simple.
In partnership with National Theatre and Joy FM, Roverman Productions present I Like What You Like, an original Ebo White play.
Hey, Kwesi Trumpet, what kind of misfortune follows you so much that when your rich auntie dies in the US, the only thing she leaves you is her ashes? Boy, you won't keep that thing in this household. Put it outside the gate and regard it as wakekeeping. Or you can use it for tea. Your needs your share.
Well, his auntie named him a sole beneficiary to her estate.
I am his wife. How much is it worth?
Roughly $350 million.
What? Oh, Auntie, oh, Kwesi, we cannot leave her outside the gate. She will feel cold. Let us keep her on the dresser in the guest room and ensure she gets a befitting burial.
Shows at the National Theatre on July 7th, 8th, 9th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. Friday at 7 p.m. Saturdays at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sundays at 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. Tickets available on the short code *365 *535# and all the usual outlets. 150 Ghana cedis. Sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Gino, GCP, and M Notify. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Then come cotton. Donut, donut, donut. Malaria syrup, donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D no not now. Won't malaria chill. Won't popo. What when the day? I want the donut. A dabako. Donut. A damian no. Donut. A damian sa. Donut. Malaria syrup. No. Donut scatter malaria. Lonat ide scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa wumujam ansana wanum Lonat. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo hwa ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call, and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID, no savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
When Solomon had finished praying, fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the temple. It's time to pray and pray again. Are you ready for Stand in the Gap? 48 hours of non-stop prayer? Join the global gathering of prayer warriors, prayer addicts, and believers from the 6th to the 8th of July, starting 6 p.m. This year, under the mandate of our global lead pastor, Prophet Gideon Danso, we are declaring, let the fire fall. Joining him, our mighty men of God, the Reverend Ben Doku, Pastor John Hanna, Dr. Robert Ampia Kofi, Pastor Matthew Thompson, Pastor Nathaniel Bassi, Pastor William McDowell, and the sound of our house, EWC Live. Location is the EWC Prayer Factory, Jowulu, next to the Allied Heights. It's your season of divine visitation. Come and birth your testimony at Stand in the Gap, brought to you by the Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives.
Light up your Eid! This Eid season, Electroland Ghana Limited is giving you discounts on a wide range of products. Talk of NASCO, Media, TCL, or Samsung, fridges, air conditioners, television sets, microwaves, washing machines, and many more. Masa, look sharpo. Visit any of our showrooms today and let the magic of the crescent illuminate your Eid today. Electroland Ghana Limited, lighten up your Eid like never before.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And so this morning we're having a conversation about the rating agencies. Lots of discussions concerning them. And you know that our president has been at the forefront in criticizing the rating agencies. He believes that they are the cause of our problems. He may not be the only one, because you have the UNDP Africa chief also indicating that Ghana, others in Africa, lose $75 billion annually due to the bias by credit rating agencies. This morning, we're joined by Professor Godfrey Bokping, who is a professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School. And Seth Terkper is former finance minister. He's worked with the IMF. He understands this system also very well. And they're both joining us on phone. Good morning, Professor Bokping. Good morning, Honorable Seth Terkper.
Good morning, Winston. Good morning to our cherished listeners, and good morning, Honorable Seth Terkper. It's always a pleasure.
Good morning, and
to share my thoughts with you.
Good morning to you and to your listeners. Glad to be on the program.
Great. Before we get into the conversation, let's first listen to President Akufo-Addo as he condemns these rating agencies.
As the AU champion for African financial institutions and leader of a country which recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history, difficulties which were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of capital markets and turning a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis. Afro-Exim Bank, under its counter-cyclical response mechanism, provided timely support to help Ghana navigate the macroeconomic management challenges, worsened by Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine, in an orderly manner, when suddenly we realized we were alone. The country which had become, quote, the favorite child of bondholders and had successfully gone to market at the height of the pre-COVID-19 downturn was suddenly shut out of international capital markets. It is often said that you know who is truly your friend when you are in trouble, and is rightly stated by Dr. Martin Luther King in that often cited quote, "In the end, we'll remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends," unquote. When you're dealing with powerful international financial institutions, it is important to have your own powerful financial institution.
So that's President Akufo-Addo there, reminding all that it's not just what your enemies say, but the silence of those who claim to love you. And he's now calling for an African ratings agency because he believes that these rating agencies have not been fair to Africans. Well, he may not be the only one making this point because, the regional director of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, Ahuna Eziokona, in speaking to Blaise Sogan on Foreign Affairs on Joy News, also indicated that a recent study by the agency on the cost of borrowing and credit rating bias puts African countries at a disadvantage and says we're dealing with about $75 billion cost to Africa. Listen.
We have to look at, and we've been looking at it at UNDP, for instance. We just did a study on the cost of borrowing and the credit rating bias that puts African countries at a disadvantage. If we can deal with that, you save $75 billion a year for just 16 countries that we surveyed.
Are you saying this is becoming a reality? Because our president raised that during the Afro-Exim meetings where there's this continental push for our own standards and ratings. Is that the solution to the problem?
That's part of the solution. I mean, you will always have to participate in the international rating agencies because they have a standard.
Because we can't do without them.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think that you can influence how they rate Africa, and it comes back to perceptions. A lot of it is really perceptions. I mean, there are facts and there's a reality that you have insecurity in some cases and you have foreign exchange volatility in other cases. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are reasons why all of these ratings are as bad as they are in some cases. But, it's not taking into account all the data, and it's also not always objective. Some of it is subjective. We know that there is, this country, Ghana, is surrounded by countries that are in violent extremism situations. So it must be risky, to invest in Ghana. No, don't do that. Take Ghana in its own right in terms of what it has to offer and what its potential is, and do that rating based on some objective data, right? And if you did that, many African countries will not end up in the junk basket, and that will help also increase investments, because if you look at the ratings, investors also are put out,
yes,
right?
But I don't intend to dwell on that. The concern here is that if you look at the facts on the ground and compare them to the ratings that we have, and I'll use Ghana for example because we're here, we're heading for an austerity plan with the IMF, for instance. That's a reality. We're out of the market, and it's because of some policy measures that did not go right. So where's the bias really that you're pointing to?
Well, if you look at and the credit rating agencies themselves will also tell you that they could use more data that is available elsewhere, and that's what we're proposing. That there's econometrics data that sometimes is not factored in. African countries themselves need to pay attention when they are rated. They need to review the reports, and they need to put some resources into ensuring that they bring all the information that's required, that could perhaps influence where that rating goes. So there are things to do to reduce the bias in the rating. There is bias in the rating, we've established that. But there is also a problem with Africa's policies.
Nesta Mali, thank you very much for staying with us. And this morning, we're joined by former Finance Minister Seth Terkper and Professor of Finance Godfred Bokpin. So let me start off with you, Honorable Seth Terkper. You've heard the President, you've heard from the UNDP Regional Director. The suggestion is that these rating agencies could be biased against Africa. You've been there, you've seen the ratings. Have you at any point felt same? And now that you've been out there dealing with them, dealing with the financial markets and all of that, do you feel that the rating agencies are biased against Africa?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me begin by saying that there are social, political, and other biases against Africa from centuries, especially since slavery and other colonization. And so I'm not about to deny, any bias against, Africa. But I think we should also own up, in certain instances. And let me pose a question. What is an African market? In 2015, and let me be very specific, in 2015, up to 2015, all the bonds, the domestic bonds we are talking about today, were treated like treasury bills. And it was Bank of Ghana that was issuing them, refinancing them, in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance on behalf of government.
Okay.
It was only in 2015 that from our book building experience on the external bond market when we do the sovereign bond. We decided that we should adopt that method, took the bonds from Bank of Ghana and put it on our own stock exchange for the secondary trading of those bonds. Immediately, the market started to develop very fast. Banks, pension funds, people in the diaspora started to invest in those bonds. Today, we are doing a domestic debt exchange. Is that how to develop, a domestic African market? So I think that, secondly, let me also say that before I get to the other point, much of what has happened, we had academics. I'm on with Professor Bokpin. They were out there saying that the situation where we were using total revenue, not tax revenue, total revenue, to cover only interest and compensation was unsustainable. And we needed to do a reversal. That preceded COVID. In fact, it had crossed tax revenue and was consuming total revenue before COVID struck. I think it's a debate we have had, on your good program several times.
Okay.
Could we have paid heed and pulled back? And let's also be careful also when we say an African market. You remember the last facility, last two
we'll get
major
to the,
facilities.
Yes, we'll get to the African market shortly, but I just want to understand something. I want to set the tone properly. So you say there are biases towards Africa. What I want specifically, what I want clearly is that do these biases towards Africa translate even into how the ratings agency grade and sometimes downgrade or upgrade us?
I'm sorry. I was finishing my contribution. Could you repeat your question?
So my question is that since you've talked about biases against Africa, I am asking specifically, do these biases lead to the upgrade or in most instances the downgrade of Africa by these rating agencies?
We cannot continue to generalize. We are dealing with the financial market. And I think that is important. We should bear that in mind and therefore be careful when we are dealing with the financial markets. We were getting close to 70% and found a solution in the second fund in order that we could, take off the Excellency President Kufuor's bond. We took up to 2/3 or so out of our own, revenues. We did a 2015 bond at 10.2. Because of these measures, the rates came down to about 9%, for the 2016 bond. So I'm saying that, yes, in as much as I'm acknowledging that, I'm saying that we must look internally to what we also do. And I don't know whether we went off, but I was giving examples. And I'm saying that in the case of those, I was giving 3 examples. One, I said that the domestic bonds which are in the debt exchange today were being housed in Bank of Ghana like treasury bills. It was in 2015 that we put them for the secondary trading, that is those who want to buy and sell. They were not available for buying and selling. We put them in the Ghana Stock Exchange, and it became available for, buying and selling. Indeed, today, if you add what we call the government fixed income market to the other fixed income market, that is where rates are the same, it is the largest on the Ghana Stock Exchange. What is an African market? That is a typical domestic African market that we were developing.
Okay.
Why haven't we been able to meet those commitments? Why do we have to be doing a debt exchange? Is that how to develop an African market?
We'll come back to that shortly. Let me bring in Professor Bokpin. We'll talk about the African market and we'll talk about even the role that these rating agencies may have played in our own challenges domestically, in the sub-region and in the region. But Professor Bokpin, you've heard Honorable Tekpe make the point that you cannot discount the fact that there could be some biases. From your point of view, do you agree that there could be or there are some biases against Africa?
Yeah, thank you very much, Winston, and good morning to our listeners. I agree with Honorable Setepe that yes, there is some level of bias against Africa, but it's not only Africa, against low-income developing countries. Of course, majority of them, you will find them in Africa. So if you look at the way the rating agencies work, the methodology, what drives the rating? You have global factors. Let's call those one maybe global push factors. You also look at country-specific pull factors. You see that how the role these two main factors play, especially in the secondary markets. The secondary market in terms of the Eurobond transactions. In the primary market, when the bonds are issued for the first time to the public, that is where the issue is. Because if the coupon rate that will be agreed at the settlement date, the primary market is fixed, then largely what happens in the secondary market is a bit immaterial, except that if the country wants to issue bonds subsequently, then the secondary market performance becomes more or less a benchmark of where the country can borrow. Now, if you look at the secondary, if you use the secondary data, okay, and here we want to get a bit empirical. If you use the secondary data, trading, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, and you control for global factors here can be maybe, for instance, if U.S. decide to increase their interest rate or they decide to lower it, the uncertainty in the global financial market itself. And then you also control for country-specific variables, which may include GDP growth, GDP per capita, inflation, external balance or factors, your reserves, your public finance, debt to GDP ratio, the proportion of interest service to your total revenue, and all of that. If you control for all of this, you will still see a certain level of variation, which is not as a result of these two main drivers. We can attribute that to idiosyncratic issues or country-specific issues that perhaps you see varying from developed countries and then developing countries. In the literature, others have categorized or termed this excess premium sort of that you cannot attribute to the global push factors or the country-specific pull factors. And they call that one the African risk premium. So what that tells you is that there's a certain level of extra cost that African leaders have to pay in order to access capital from the same market that Europeans, North America, that they all go and borrow from. Now, the next important, so that is established. In fact, and Winston, this thing didn't start today. And I'm sure if you listen to what Honorable Setepe was saying, these are legacy issues. It's not only in terms of the accessing capital from the international capital market, because that is even a more recent issue. And the reason I'm saying that is a more recent issue is that until 2006, in the case of Ghana, in the run-up to HIPIC, when HIPIC was developed in 1996, if you look at the debt composition of African countries, including Ghana, majority of them were in the form of syndicated loan from multilateral institutions and then bilateral. Okay. The interest rates were not particularly exceptional. Okay. Then we went through HIPIC, finished that in 2004, and went through the multilateral debt relief initiative and finished that also in 2006. Winston, the points that are being made today, all of that came together in the Jubilee campaign towards debt relief. The Jubilee campaign is what has changed it from now into the debt justice that we talk about today, that African countries are overburdened with debt. Let's give them a fresh start.
Okay.
Let's give them a fresh start. And the fresh start initially was in the form of interest service relief. Then they realized that no, the principal relief would also help. We African countries, Southern African countries went through this. We got in excess of $100 billion of debt relief. In fact, when we were done broadly, I'm giving you context so that we don't major on the minor. The excessive cry of African leaders about the rating agencies, if you look at it in totality of what we have contributed to and what the biases have contributed to, and you look at it in relative terms, in proportionate terms, you may come to the conclusion that we are majoring on the minor. And I'll give reasons why I am of this view. And our Honorable Tetekwe has also spoken about that.
Yes, please go ahead.
Now, when we completed this, and then our debt to GDP ratio came down to less than 30%. In fact, across Sub-Saharan African countries, debt to GDP ratio, can you imagine, came down to less than 30%. What that meant was that we had fiscal space. The important question is, what did we do with the fiscal space? Then we started assessing capital from the Eurobond market. That is where the rating agencies, their role became very dominant and highly elevated. Because once you decide by your debt management strategy to access capital from the international capital market, you are more open to perception, sentiment, and the rest of them, and for which you don't have control. Now, so if you look at it in the case of Ghana, from 2006, run up to our first Eurobond issue in 2007, the issue of rating agencies started dominating our discussion. Now, you see that it's not only Ghana. It got to a point, and the most competitive league in the world was not La Liga, it was not the Premier League, it was the contest in accessing capital from the international capital market. Others have even called it the African Beauty Contest or the African Competitive League. So African countries were boasting about how often and how successful they've been able to access capital from the international capital market. Now, let's come to Ghana. In this country, we have had instances to celebrate the performance of these same rating agencies. In this country, across the two main political regimes, you check the data. Now, in this same country, we have had instances where we have gone to the Eurobond market and our bond issues were highly oversubscribed. And our political leaders came back and told us that this was confidence in our economy. And that is why it was highly oversubscribed.
Yes.
And even when it was pointed out that the oversubscription may not be so much of confidence in your economy, but it may be more of the extra yield that you are offering relative to what they would have gotten if they had invested in their own home country denominated instrument. That argument didn't sit well with the managers of the economy.
Okay.
When it was good, they took the credit. Now, look at, if we've had instances in this country where we have had Kenke and Wache parties over a hat-trick of borrowing.
So, Prof, based on all that you've said, you started by agreeing with Honorable Tetekwe. I want to understand you. Is it your argument that, yes, there's that bias, but we have also played a role in our downgrades and where we find ourselves today? Is that your position?
Precisely. And Winston, maybe let me just finish it this way.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Honorable Tetekwe also spoke about it. The domestic financial market. Put that one side by side with the international capital market. And now look at the interest rate at which Ghana was borrowing from its own domestic market. And compare that to the interest rate or the yield on the international borrowing. Of course, one denominated in dollars, the other denominated in cedis. There's a way to account for that. If you account for that, you will see that from the turn of 2000, in fact, towards the end of 2021, you will see that even in the domestic market here, local investors had downgraded the government in a worst case scenario than the rating agencies. You check the data, And you will see that government excessive displeasure about the rating agencies actually started towards the end of 2021.
Okay.
Heading to 2022. So you will see the Ministry of Finance taking on Moody's and the rest of them when we were downgraded. At that time, even in the domestic market, you will see that the yield in government instrument had started rising. Now, if you look at Ghana right now, and then also in the run-up to the debt restructuring, and Honorable Secretary spoke about that, if you look at the problem which occasioned the debt restructuring has more to do with the interest cost, more than the principal repayment. Now, and for which the President was saying that the liquidity issues have manifested explicitly in solvency issues, because from time zero, the issue was more a liquidity issue, right? But then going forward, it manifested in solvency. How did that happen? Now, if you look at the proportion of the domestic debt and its contribution to the interest cost burden, which was the biggest problem, you will see that the domestic debt interest cost was rather the problem more rather than the external debt.
Okay.
Now, if you pick the external debt, there are two forms. We have the external commercial and then external bilateral and multilateral. Now, external bilateral and external multilateral, the interest rates were not that high. The loans from the World Bank, IMF, African Development Bank, and the other bilateral, they were not that much. You will need to then isolate the external commercial, which is the Euro bond, and then look at the proportion of the interest that goes for that external commercial servicing or external total, and compare that to the domestic debt in terms of the high interest cost. If you look at all of that, you will see that our cry is more like majoring on the minor. That is not to discount the fact that there's some level of bias against Africa, and not only Africa, low-income developing countries. You can try to understand where the bias is coming from in terms of data quality, predictability, and the rest of them. Because the idea is that, Winston, at the end of the day, capital will only go to where it feels loved. If you want capital from the international capital market, then you have to align your system and the economic fundamentals to suit that. Because capital will only go to where it feels loved. Then also we can come to developing the domestic debt market. Honorable Secretary was talking about that. Then you will see that Africa, we are the cause of our own problems here.
We'll come back
to
that shortly.
External factors.
Yes, we'll come back to that shortly. We'll come back to a development of an African market. We'll look at even a Ghanaian market. This morning we're joined by Professor Godfrey Bokpeng, who is Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, and Honorable Seth Terkper, who is former Minister of Finance. We're talking about the credit rating agencies. The President suggested some time ago that these agencies are being reckless, and they've actually helped in manifesting in a liquidity crisis, manifesting into leading into a solvency crisis. Now, we want to look at the second leg of the conversation. So we've understood the issue that there seemed to be some bit of yes, while there's some bias, we have also played a role because actions over the period has led us into this kind of a situation. Honorable Seth Terkper, the President suggests that it's time we considered an African ratings agency, African markets maybe, and the way to go. First of all, let's start from the African ratings agency, its feasibility, and let's look at how that can transform the way we do things in our country, sub-region, and the region.
Oh, thank you very much. Just as we've been able to establish AFCPA, if you compare it to the European Union, Common Market, and others, everything is feasible if you want to apply yourself to it. We have the African Union, another, even in West Africa, we have ECOWAS and others. So it is quite feasible. But the point is that, what are we going to do with those institutions? And that is what I was trying to develop, from our own domestic debt market. And I'm saying that when we are having this discussion, we should look to the fact that the consequences of the way we have handled the fiscal in particular has affected our domestic market. And when you talk about an African market, it includes its domestic market. And that's where I was developing my point. and giving examples. But before I get to that point, let me look at continental financial institutions.
Please go ahead.
And I was saying that if you remember, when the last major external market deals that we did were the zero coupon, bond, which we were told was, an initiative never happened before. And some of us were saying, let's be careful, because we gave up 150 million, got a net of 350 million. That was trouble because the interest rate is about 33%. We had to pay the interest upfront, and that debt is due next year or 2016. Now, secondly, Afri-Exim. You remember when we borrowed from Afri-Exim, our own institution, which was in Accra, where the president made a point. You remember they took their interest upfront, and the principal remains likely to be part of the debt exchange that we are going through. So let me come domestic. So I've given you two examples, one including an African institution that was so jittery that it collected its interest upfront as a hedge before we got to that 600 million. That was the last major that we did. Let me come domestic. And I'm saying that until 2015, we did not have marketable domestic bonds. That's where tradable or marketable distinction comes in. These bonds were issued by Bank of Ghana, just like many, developing countries. But we had become a middle-income country. That is one thing we must bear in mind, that Ghana is a middle-income country. Now, we brought its dealings, as Professor Bobbin said, to the stock exchange, Ghana Stock Exchange. And by adding the government fixed income market to the other fixed incomes, it became the largest within a matter of 3 years or so of our domestic, stock exchange. It became tradable. It allowed government, not to worry about, the turnaround of the bonds if it needed to be refinanced. And the market was doing. In other words, one pension fund is receiving pensions and is investing. Another one, or the same one, has to pay pensions, and it comes to the market, liquidate the bonds, and then it's paid, right? So the market takes care of those transactions. What government had to do, which we did as part of the 2015 bond that we used to restructure, and the thinking fund was to make sure that we did not burden that market, the domestic market, with excessive government debt, so that it continues to remain liquid. Mind you, we needed the money we were putting into the sinking fund. We needed it. But we wanted to develop a domestic market. Today, where are we? So we are doing a haircut.
Yes, so that domestic market that you talk about, Honorable Tekpe, that domestic market that you talk about, and that African market that we talk about, how feasible is it, and how can our own credit rating agencies help?
I'm developing a point. I'm saying that if we have a domestic rating agency, how would it rate our domestic market? Because it is part of the total market, how you perform domestically. It's part of it. So how would an African rating agency or a Ghanaian rating agency, and as Professor Bobbin said, our investors, pension fund and whatever, they are rating the bonds. They are picketing. That is rating. It is not formal. There's an informal way of saying that you are not performing. And that's the point I'm making, that it is very, very important for us, to begin to pay attention to the things that ail the economy. That is a more fundamental point. The things that ail the economy are the fact that you are borrowing and you are not paying. Right? Yes, we have developmental needs. When China was in such a situation, please Google China rating. Google China Development Bank rating. Google China Exim Bank rating. They have investment grade. Did they have biases when they started going to the market? Of course they did. 30 years ago, they did. To the point where when they started financing, their state agencies domestically to do the expansion within China, some of the bonds were junk. Today, their housing bonds are junk. But the two institutions that are pillar, from whom we borrow and which is the engine for development in China, are rated. So I'm saying that until we can develop an African market, if we want to be in the external markets, they have the basis for doing things, and we have to do it. And let me give you another specific example, domestic action relating to that. When we started taking off from the sinking fund, the first sovereign bond, you know that by 2016, we had paid off 336 million, close to 350 million of the bond, and we had refinanced 200. The yields began to drop. The interest rates on those bonds began to drop. When we were doing the 2016 bond, we had to make a disclosure that we were buying our own bonds. Immediately, the bonds were no longer tradable. If you ask market people, the 2023 bond is not tradable. Today. Now, the point I'm making is that once that happened, we were not able to use the sinking fund money to buy back the remainder, the 200 million that is left of the bond, because we had paid 350 approximately. We had used 200 of the 2015 bond, to refinance and stretch it. The remaining 200 was not. And they kept it at the maturity, hoping that they will be. And that is why it was the NPP that used that money, 200 million, out of the 200 out of the 250 million, the sinking fund, to pay off the 2007 bond that matured in 2017. And that is one of the factors that paved way for the NPP to be able to borrow as it did.
Okay.
One government did a sacrifice. With 3 oil fields, we did not continue. Do we have to blame external rating agencies for these factors? So I am giving these examples to show, that if we devastate our domestic bond market, we will be in a similar situation, and that the answer lies in proper debt management, proper macroeconomic management, and making provisions. We spoke to Philippines, and Philippines has in their constitution, just as we have the sinking fund in our constitution. The only rider is that I would say may. It doesn't say shall. The Philippines is very good at, paying up to 70% or so of the bonds that they borrow. Okay. That was what we were imitating through the sinking fund, through even other factors that affect the economy, like the stabilization fund. So as Professor Bobrin is saying, they say charity begins at home. I don't think an African institution, will be so liberal. Mind you, African Development Bank, which is promising to help us and others, has U.S., Canada, and others sitting on their board because they have invested in it. Yes. So are we saying that we are going to establish an African institution without participation, in the world? And wouldn't such an African institution face the same bias that we are talking about? Because much of the investments in the market, the money that will be available, like the Dubai emerging markets in Middle East. It's not just the Middle East that invest in it, rich as they are.
Okay.
The advanced countries also developing it. So I think that, yes, once we acknowledge the bias, we must note, that we must look at our own indices. And as I was saying, we started saying before COVID that we were moving in a certain direction. That is by that time we were using interest and compensation only.
So let me bring in Professor Bokwing at this point, Honorable Tepe. Let me bring Professor Bokwing in. And this morning we're having a conversation about rating agencies. We're looking at the possibility, maybe the feasibility of having an African ratings agency and how that can in itself help our current situation. Professor Bokwing, so let's look at the possibility of having our own ratings agency. Would that even be taken seriously by the international capital market?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And I'm sure Honorable Tepe has dealt with this, and I agree with him. The easiest route, and probably it would have been the laziest approach, is to fail to acknowledge your own weaknesses and suddenly assume that if we had our own institution, they will understand our level of corruption, they will understand our fiscal indiscipline, they will understand the policy uncertainty, and therefore they are likely to align their methodology to reflect who we are. Then in that case, that institution must be ready to provide you with the money. Remember that capital would only go to where it feels like. Let me give you an example. In our effort as a country to attract capital. These buyers, there's one that we create ourselves, and there's one that is imposed. Now, capital can come to this country to complement the limited we're able to generate through Eurobonds, external debt. It can also come in the form of foreign direct investment or portfolio flows. Winston, do you know what we have done as a country?
Tell me.
In order to attract foreign direct investment, look at the way we have amended our local laws, granted tax reliefs, exemptions, and all kinds of things, in order to attract foreign capital. So you look at it. Look at the fiscal expenditures, that tax expenditures that the country has to incur annually in order to attract another form of capital from outside the continent. If you estimate that tax expenditures in terms of concessions, laws we have to revise, we even make it so attractive to foreign capital against domestic private capital. This country has done it.
Sure.
We have aligned our system to be more receptive to foreign capital than growing domestic capital. This country, we have done it. So what is the cry about rating agencies? We ourselves, through laws that we have taken through Parliament, we've made it more conducive. We've traded off. We have sacrificed. Look, if you look at tax expenditures, exemptions, the IMF, the World Bank, and the others are estimating that Ghana loses between 2 to 5% of GDP annually, tax expenditures. If you cut this, that's what I'm saying that, look, as a country, let's sit down holistically and look at all these things so that we can properly advise the president before he speaks. Okay? It's very, very important. So within here, this is what we are doing in order to attract foreign capital. We give them tax holidays. We give them this. We give them that. We give them that. All in order to make it attractive for foreign capital to come here. It's not only Ghana. Look, Africa, Winston. Hello?
Prof, I'm listening.
Africa, our infrastructure deficit is estimated to between $130 to $170 billion a year in infrastructure needs. The financing gap for Africa is estimated by the African Development Bank to be close to $108 billion annually.
Okay.
The question is, would Africa be able to close this financing gap by harnessing domestic capital alone?
Can we?
The answer is no. So what is it that informs this? Then you will see that the global investors command in excess of $100 trillion in fund management. So it means that there's excess capital somewhere else. And that is why we have aligned our laws, all of that, enabling environment, so that we can make it attractive to foreign capital. Then come to what we do ourselves, Winston. That is the Section B. And always the marks are in the Section B. Winston, let me give you an example.
Please go ahead.
In this country, the Ghana's high net worth individuals, some of whom are ministers in the current and the previous, they themselves don't feel safe keeping their money here.
Really?
They have offshore accounts in Cayman Islands. Ask them, why do they keep them there? Not only politicians.
Why do they take them there?
Because they feel safe. It is safer when it's there, even when the interest rate is very low. Our heritage funds, where do we invest it? And what is the level of interest yield that we get from that? It's not only Ghana. The high net worth estimation for Africa is over $900 billion. More than 60% of that are held outside African financial markets, because the African rich, sometimes they are afraid of our own politicians who come after them. Okay? And therefore, these same developed countries have established what we call financial secrecy jurisdictions, where they receive funds from Africa, sometimes stolen, Look, this multilateral, bilateral, they could decide to even give the money to Africa for free, no interest. It will not change much unless Africa addresses the issues of corruption and the rest of. Let me give you an example. The total aid, this was African Union study. The total aid in those days when we were receiving aid, like the way we feed our children with breast milk, equity. African Union own study revealed that more than 30% of the aid that African countries received ended up, they went back. More than 30% actually ended up in those countries where they came from through corruption, which they sent back to their financial secrecy jurisdiction.
Okay.
You can talk about Abacha, you can talk about Mobutu, you can across.
Let me get your thoughts on this particular issue, Professor Bokping. Let me get your thoughts on this issue. There's a message somebody sent. He says, Winston, the simple and central question to ask on credit rating agencies shutting Ghana out of the capital market is this. Did Ghana wish to continue borrowing given where we've sunk in debt? The agencies did us a favor by taking away the drug we've become addicted to. We must accept the downgrades from these agencies as long as we accept their upgrades. As for an African rating agency, it will only work if we are raising the debt from Africa and not Europe. We can't eat our cake and still have it. I'm sure you'd agree with this text message, Professor Bokping.
Yes. Look, you want their capital. You have to get it largely on their terms. You want a loan from a bank, the bank has a criteria. That's why I'm saying that we know the methodology the rating agencies use. Part of it to scale up is to align our own data and management with that, so that we can scale up our rating. As I said, this government, including the previous government, we've had instances where we have celebrated the ratings of these agencies, largely the three of them. Because when we talk about the rating agencies, in any case, Africa, we have some rating agencies here. Okay, some are in Mauritius, some are in, even there's one in Nigeria. There's one in Ghana that rates more corporate bonds and the rest of them, right? So to scale it up to that international level, then we need to be very careful how we move this conversation forward.
Let me bring in Honorable Seth Tekpe at this point. Because we need to be, wrapping up shortly. So, Honorable Tekpe, it looks like until we are prepared to do the right things, we just can't get up and say we're setting up an African ratings agency. Because if we do the wrong things, it will come back to haunt us, wouldn't it?
Of course, yes. And I've already given examples of our own, African institution, AfriExim, by the way, from whom we're going to get the $600 million that was aborted to pay the IPP. They are willing to come in. But when the situation is bad, remember they have externals on their board, and they would insist, that they deal with the country, by market standards. And that is why we had to pay them the interest up front to be able to get the last facility that we got from them. And if we don't improve the situation, despite it being an African market, unless it wants to go down, with the countries, because they're also borrowing. I read brochures and things from, the last event, 30th anniversary that we hosted, and they're in the Caribbean. They are lending in the Caribbean. So it means that the Caribbean soon is going to be competing with Africa. Guyana and the rest, Trinidad and Tobago. So our own institutions have to be global in order that they can be solid to get the resources to be able to finance, African institutions. And let me get to a quick point which Prof did. Yes, we must grant incentives. And we did grant incentives, and our laws allow incentives. In fact, Professor Mills at the point, in the revision 2000, Income Tax Act, moved to the Ministry of Finance and advocated, that the incentives we give ourselves should be available to Ghanaians. That is why today in the tax law, it is indifferent whether you are a domestic investor, you can take your tax holidays, you can take your other, accelerated depreciation, and the rest. I know the history of that. But when we do things in excess, what is the consequence of all those tax exemptions that we have given? The consequence is that, let me point to two consequences. We now have to impose levies to be able, to domestic levies. So you are only shifting the taxation you are granting, to externals, to domestic, the number of levies. And then you distort, the VAT, regime and others by blocking input tax credits. And as a result, second consequence, we are going to struggle, to create an austere environment for the IMF program. Because one of the things is for us to boost, domestic tax. And if you do that, our tax is flat. It has been flat from 2015, 2014, 2015. As a result of rebasing, and it's been flat. And we are not reducing expenditure. So how are you going to reduce deficit?
All right.
If you are as a consequence of all these things. So I think it's very important. The question is very important. There are diasporas, when you travel, who had started investing in our bonds. We say what issue diaspora bonds and the rest. We can christen it diaspora bonds. But once the domestic market is, it's happening. And you've heard interviews. I had an interview on Joy FM. One of the people who was picketing said that he took his, a pension from the UK or something and came to invest in Ghana because of, the way the market was in. We are destroying that market. So our diasporas who have the option of investing, in America, in Europe, and the rest, do you think they'll bring the money just because it is Ghanaian or it is African? So I'm saying that we had the framework, and the current government contributed to it when we had the oil revenue, and we said we should use it, some for the budget. We should use part to attend to our debt. We should use part for the stabilization fund, to remove the swings, the up and downs. Today, all those funds. Yes, we invested the heritage. We advocated putting the heritage fund in an external market. Point that was what we made. But that's because the ABFA is available, in cities. That's because the part of the stabilization fund is available and is going into the research. And when you are creating a portfolio, you need to balance it. With external. And the heritage fund being a long-term fund, we did not want to invest in it, assuming if we had invested the heritage fund in the Ghanaian market to boost it.
Well, we probably may have been experiencing debt exchange at this point, but that's all time would allow us. Unfortunately, it's been a great conversation. It is just the first of many conversations to be had. Thank you very much, Professor Godfred Bokpin and Honorable Seth Tekpe for joining us this morning here on the Super Morning Show. We're grateful. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Imagine, say, water wake up at dawn. Bath, chop. Where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey. Hajia, our life was in dangerous.
Only our neighbor gets water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank gets meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe. So say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Are you hoping to start university this October? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and 50% scholarships to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless opportunities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our October 2023 intakes. Apply now for our foundation and undergraduate programs. For more information, contact us on +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
This July, get up to 50% off Electroland Ghana Limited products. Massive Discount Bazaar is on again. Get massively discounted electronics and home appliances
from Electrolux, Samsung, Media, ABB, Nasco, Homeland, and good news, Toshiba is having a clearance sales.
From Friday to Sunday, 7th, 8th, and 9th of July, 9 a.m. each morning at Coca-Cola Runabout Spintex. Items are a mixture of brand new, slightly used, scratched, showroom display, repaired, and dented.
Call 050-315-9739.
EGL, home of electronics and affordable luxury.
Mr. Bossman, with all these computers, servers, and electronic equipment, I know they see one cable for the floor cry.
Charlie, you be right too. We they use raised access floors from Interface, so all the cables they hide under the raised access floors. So
this be the solution to the plenty cables where they my computer room for office. Accountant, call Interface now.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook, Interface Limited GH. Instagram, interface.limited.
My people, Philadelphia. Our very own Adansi Travels is 10 years old. Wow. I hope you remember what they did on their 5th anniversary with a 555 figure and even the power of 8.
Then this will be a 10-day thing.
That is right. We are going on a 10-day adventure in Dubai on a chartered Emirates flight full of Adansi travelers from 10th to 19th August. And starting from $1,650, you can be part of this Adansi-licious 10th anniversary tour. The rate covers flights, hotel accommodation, breakfast, visa, airport transfer, tours, and Adansi at 10 mega party at Dubai Desert Camp with the legendary Samini.
Adansi Travelers Tour. It's a vibe. The 10th anniversary. That will be a part of this.
You can pay a minimum of $500 to book your seat and pay the rest till 15th July. Contact Adansi Travels now on 0595 500 817 or 055 631 0404 to book your spot now. Adansi Travels. Feel life's beauty.
Habitat Fair is here again. The 2023 edition of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair starts with the first clinic as follows. Date, Friday 7th to Sunday 9th July 2023 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Venue at Chimota Mall. Time, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. This year's exhibition is under the theme Home Ownership, Affordability, Comfort or Luxury. Visit the clinic and engage the providers in the housing value chain on all your housing needs, be it financing, land acquisition, rent to own, outright purchase, roofing, lighting, electronic appliances, home security, or furnishing. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is your one-stop shop for everything housing. For exhibition, please call 0540-110-389 or 0244-260-653. There will be daily giveaways from sponsors to visitors at the fair. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair 2023 is powered by the Plant City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats and sponsored by Virtual Security Africa, Complete Security Solution, DBS Roofing, your roof experts, Elegant Homes and Constructions Limited, where quality meets value, Syntex Tanks, Air Strong, Air Tough. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, affordability, comfort or luxury.
Show on Joy 99.7 FM. But let me tell you about Safari Valley, because Safari Valley Eco Park introduces the safari wildlife experience by creating an environment that fosters the harmonious cohabitation of forests, water, humans, and wildlife. And this is very important. Imagine having an environment that fosters the harmonious cohabitation of the forest, water, humans, and wildlife such as zebra, sable, antelope, llama, wallaby, fallow deer, Patagonian mara, and many others, where everyone can come and experience these majestic creatures at a starting price of only 250 Ghana cedis, and is free for children up to 6 years. It's only an hour's drive from Accra. It opens from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. Visit Safari Valley Eco Park with your friends and family today for the thrill of a lifetime. I mean, I've been there, and you would love it when you get there. But let me tell you more about the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair 2023. We're starting with its first clinic as follows: Friday the 7th of July to the 9th of July. That's on Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day at the Chimota Mall. Time is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Now, this year's exhibition is under the theme Home Ownership, Affordability, Comfort, or Luxury. Visit the clinic and engage the providers in the housing value chain on all your housing needs, be it financing, land acquisition, rent to own, outright purchase, roofing, lightings, electronic appliances, home security, or home furnishing. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is your one-stop shop for everything housing. For exhibition, please call 0540-110389 or 0244-260-653. There'll be daily giveaways by the sponsors to visitors at the fair. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair 2023 is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Plan Cities Extension Project from Cities and Habitats, and sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, where quality meets value. Virtual Security Africa, complete security solution. DBS Roofing, your roof experts. Syntex Tanks, you're strong, you're tough. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, affordability, comfort, or luxury. Are you suffering from kidney disease, or do you know someone who is? Now, there's the opportunity to have kidney transplant in Ghana. Sarah Health Plus, in association with the Maringo Asia Hospitals, is presenting a lecture by Dr. Rajiv Sood from India, and is on current trends in kidney transplant. There will be interaction of patients with Dr. Rajiv Sood after the lecture. It's happening today, Wednesday the 5th of July 2023 at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Venue is Nest of Ideas Consulting Limited, C900 Mensa Sabak Road, Kokomleme in Accra. Nest to Teledata. Call 0202-017546. You don't have to die from kidney disease. But Kingdom Books and Station Limited says, look, you don't have to walk to any of their stores anymore. Just get onto kingdomstoreonline.com and they will arrange delivery to your home and office within a reasonable time, offering free delivery within Accra and Tema, and they accept payment via Momo across all networks. But terms and conditions apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Slow down.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited wishes to inform the general public and our cherished customers that the company will embark on Operation Zero effective Tuesday, 11th July to Monday, 11th September 2023. The Operation Zero will deploy ECG staff to the premises of customers to demand payment of outstanding bills. Staff will also take the opportunity to visit all households to capture consumers who are not in our database and bill them instantly via the ECG digital customer platform. During this special exercise, ECG will grant a moratorium to all who are consuming electricity without paying for it to allow them visit their respective ECG offices for immediate regularization of their supply. ECG pleads with customers who have not yet received their bills to pay on account to be credited accordingly. The Operation Zero will be assisted by security agencies who will apprehend and prosecute customers who attempt to interfere with the exercise. In view of this exercise, the regional and district offices will operate with a lean staff pool who will provide essential services to customers to enable total participation by top management and staff. ECG wishes to state that the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission's LI 2413 gives us full access to all our installations. Therefore, customers and the general public are advised to cooperate with ECG to carry out our mandate. Visit ECG website, ecg.com.gh. ECG, help ECG serve you better. Okay, so let's get into our conversation about the latest Roverman Productions play for Q2. I Like What You Like. And this morning we're joined by Ni Saki, who is a media rep at Roverman Productions.
Yes, sir.
Ni, good morning,
Good morning, Uncle.
Charlie, how be the going?
Well, God day we day.
You're getting ready for another one, eh?
Yeah, we are getting ready for something exciting, something that everybody will like. So it sticks.
What is cooking this quarter?
Well, it's our latest play from Roverman Productions. I think it's actually the 53rd play by Uncle Ibo White. And the title is I Like What You Like. This play, even arriving at the title alone was very dramatic. If we decide to put that one on stage, I'm sure it will actually sell out National Theatre. So imagine that what is leading up to the title is dramatic, imagine what is actually going to be happening on stage.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. You know, Uncle Ibo was telling me the last time about the first quarter play, how it took me a very long time to actually come up with, a play.
Yes. And the play, yes, and the writing of it, yes.
Yeah. But this time around, I asked him, so Uncle, what is the play? And he says, what is that? I mean, I was like, I like what you like. No, you're not saying it well. You're not saying it well.
I like what you like.
I like that one. So I'm just asking myself, so what's the play all about?
Well, in a nutshell, Iris has been handling the financial burdens of their home because her husband Kwesi has been out of job for some time now. Kwesi got dismissed because he was principled. It's one of the things that you don't get to be successful at in Ghana, in the part of the world where we come from. So yes, she has been bearing the costs and the financial burdens of everything at home till it started actually weighing on her. Now there's a golden opportunity that has come, and Kwesi is actually being very slow to respond to it. Now, how is Iris going to respond to it? They're actually being ejected from their home by no other person than Iris's own father.
Who's their landlord?
To be the landlord.
Oh.
So imagine
your own father-in-law.
Yes, and on that
father.
Yes, and on that same day, a very wonderful opportunity comes, and Kwesi is doing how we say it in Ghana, ende. You know, the question is
the $350 million.
You see that, and the $350 million.
Because I heard it in a lesson. $350 million.
Yes.
That's money that Ghana would take with open arms.
I'm telling you. And
he's doing last.
He was playing principles with it.
His wife would not be happy with him at all. No, but if you behave like that, even me as your friend, I'll not be happy with you.
Well,
this is inheritance. You have to take it.
Yes, but the end justifies it. You ask yourself, is it really worth it?
$350 million.
You know, but okay, speaking about that, okay, so that part comes up, and his aunt Frida supposedly dies and leaves him that much, and it's not just 300, because there's a 100-acre ranch there as well, also waiting for him, and she who was saying that they should use Auntie Frida's ashes for tea. After hearing the amount of money, starts a funeral right in their house because of Auntie Frida.
Oh yes.
Then you can ask yourself, does she like?
No. She likes Auntie Frida. It is that things have changed. Things change all of a sudden.
What was the factor? That she?
No, the factor is that now she knows how Auntie Frida also loved them. In the past, she was disappointed. Now she's happy. So, let's find out the preparations, how they've been so far for the cast and crew.
We've been working extra hard for those of us at Roveman Productions. Every time we come up with a new play and we go to the next quarter, the previous achievements become a zero for us. It becomes our starting point. So we are working extra hard to bring patrons something they probably haven't seen before, something that will blow their minds for this particular quarter. And the singing is on point, the dancing is on point. We are bringing amazing, fantastic actors. Of course, the storyline is an Uncle White play, so you should expect the quality of story. So yes, the preparations have been good, and we are ready.
So, talking about it, and Uncle, I've been doing the LPMSS. There are a lot of lessons to be learned in this play. What are some of the key lessons in the play?
One key lesson here is that a good name is better than riches. Sometimes the decisions change when money is mentioned, and we do not think about the fact that your name can actually open riches, not only to open doors for you, not only for you and for your children's children. I'll give you a typical example. When Sunyane, a few years back, we were on a roadshow assignment, and it was in the middle of the night. We were hanging banners by one of the roundabouts in Sunyane, and there was this guy who stopped his car in the night, in the dark, and mentioned my name. Because he had watched a certain play in Accra and I was on stage. And for like 30 minutes, this guy was talking about how the play influenced him and all of that. And because of that, he was willing to get us a contract to give us free accommodation in Sunyane. In Takrade, it was the same. In fact, even in Takrade, there was this man who our play had influenced, and because of the influence of Uncle Ebo, he actually gave us a car. So anytime we go to Takrade, this man gives us his car to do all our rounds for free. You understand? All because of the good name that someone who went before us, that's Uncle Ebo, who went before us, has opened. Now, if you think about it this way, you say, wow. But at that point where somebody decides to follow the riches and, leave everything that it comes with, the honor, the like you said, the principles and all of that, then we may be closing doors to our children.
Well, lots of lessons to learn. I'll tell you something before we wrap it all up. But let's talk about the Roverman 1, 2, 3, which has come to stay now. So, but for those who don't know it, please explain it to us.
Roverman 1, 2, 3 is our new show times now. So we decided that we're going to add Fridays to our show runs and increase the number of shows we're doing on Sundays. Previously, it was just Saturdays, Sundays, 2 shows each. But now we are doing one show on Friday at 7 p.m. because we understand you close at Friday, traffic and all of that. So you come to the National Theatre, come and watch a play, enjoy it. Play starts at 7 p.m. We'll end probably around 9 o'clock, and then you can go home. And then on Saturday, we have 2 shows. We have a 4 p.m. show, we have an 8 p.m. show. And then on Sunday, we have a 1 p.m. show, a 4 p.m. show, and an 8 p.m. show. So 1 show on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, and 3 shows on Sunday. That's the Roverman 1, 2, 3.
And we hear there's also a Friday after party planned.
Yes.
After 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Chilling into the night.
So this is what happened. Last quarter, we decided to let's have a little fun after the show. So we brought one of our own, DJ Wishman, brought him into the National Theatre, put him in the foyer, and we had a good time. We had Kabute, my MC, passing through and jamming with the audience. Fantastic. And the people loved it. So we are like, okay, if it's nice, we play it every time. So Fridays now, we have an after party after every show where you come in. It's not just coming to watch a play because, of course, Friday night there, chilling small for happen. So so this Friday and every Friday nights at Roverman shows now, after the show, we're going to give you an amazing time inside the foyer. Pure classics back to back.
When are you going to bring DJ Ubeti to?
DJ Ubeti is part of the family. So Ubeti, let's get talking after this.
DJ Ubeti.
Ubeti is my cousin. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure we have some blood. I'm sure we have some blood relations.
You started acting already.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Well, let's continue. I know people can't wait for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But how do they get the tickets? And I'm told there's now Akusia, the virtual Rover lady.
Yes. So of course we keep thinking of new ways to actually bring you people tickets so that you can easily buy your ticket. So that now you don't have to actually rush and go to town through traffic to buy your tickets. But first and foremost, you can get your tickets at the front desk of Joy FM. Then also we introduced a short code *365*535# that you can also use to buy your tickets. But we keep getting more inquiries and all that. So we decided that why not? Let's develop a chatbot through our communications partner mNotify, so that you save the number on your WhatsApp, send it a hi, and we named it Akosia. And Akosia will be more than happy to help you purchase your ticket. You can purchase your tickets right through WhatsApp, actually. And you can also make your inquiries also by chatting this on WhatsApp.
Okay.
So you save the number. Listen, it's 050-554-6010. That is 050-554-6010. You can save it, Akosia, the Rover chatbot. Send a hi to it on WhatsApp. It would send you options to buy tickets or to make inquiries, and we'll be more than happy to engage you, so then you don't have to go through any stress. It's as simple as sending a WhatsApp message.
Great. Akosia, the virtual Rover lady.
Yeah.
Anyway, finally, maybe you want to acknowledge, your sponsors.
Yes. We want to say a very big thank you to Ebony Condoms. Ebony Condoms and Total Family Health Organization have been with us for some time now. We are really grateful for their support. We want to say a very big thank you to GCB Bank PLC. They've also been amazing. They've held us down. We want to say a big thank you to Gino Tomato Mix. They have been amazing with us. And we want to say a very big thank you to KML as well. And also we want to say a big thank you to our official communications partner, mNotify. They also have been amazing. Like I said, they help us develop Akosia, the Rover, the virtual chat box. And most importantly, we want to say a very big thank you to Joy FM and the amazing team at Super Morning Show. You guys don't know what you do to us, for us, with us. It's sweet, and because you like what we like and we like what you like, it makes the work easy.
I was going to say democracy. Thank you very much. Saki is media rep at Riverman Productions. So, folks, you know where to be to get your ticket. You can just dial *365 *535 #.
Yes.
And you will get your ticket. You can also get to the front desk of Joy FM, Shell Shops at Tema Community 11, Airport, East Legon and Dansoman, and Total Shops at Bachuna and Hatchwood. Frankie's at Osu. You can also visit the Riverman pages on Facebook, Instagram, or call 0505 546010 or WhatsApp 0505 546030 for enquiries. I like what you like.
Yes, sir.
It's starting on Friday. Please don't miss it at 7 p.m. And when Uncle Ibo says 7 p.m., it is 7 p.m. We'll be right back. Thank you.
A strong woman looks a challenge in the eye and gives it a wink. Glitz Africa presents the 8th annual Ghana Women of the Year Honors, a night to celebrate the visionaries, the innovators, the nation builders, the women rewriting the narrative. The Ghana Women of the Year Honors 2023 takes place at the Labadi Beach Hotel on Sunday, the 9th of July 2023 at 6 p.m. This event is sponsored by Access Bank Ghana PLC, Gino, and NLA, in partnership with the UNFPA media partners, Joy FM. For table reservations and inquiries, call 050-1581-265 or 050-168-2484 or email womenoftheyear@glitzafrica.com. Ghana Women of the Year Honors. Women inspiring women.